Shout out to LTTV.
Shout out to LTTV.
Shout out to brother LTTV.
Shout out to LTTV.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Shout out to LTTV.
Shout out to LTTV.
Shout out to brother LTTV.
Shout out to LTTV.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Come on. Oh yeah, I'm here. I'm not that dude that was in Atlanta. What's his name? Kevin, what's his name? I forgot his name. No, I'm not that dude. Kevin Samuels. God rest his soul. He passed away. I ain't him. But I got some advice. I'm different than him. I think different, but I got some advice now.
I felt like I was brainwashed. I felt like I let Red Pill brainwash me, and me kind of realizing the people that are speaking in this space is absolutely fake, that they don't believe what they say. I started getting pissed off. And so a lot of my thing came out of anger because I felt like I was brainwashed a little bit in believing something, and then realizing that some of the stuff that I believed in wasn't true.
I want everybody to stop talking. Stop talking. I want everybody to listen to me, just like I'm asking America to listen to me. Just like I'm asking people worldwide to listen to me. From all over the world. It's YouTube we're talking about here now. I need everybody to listen to me right now.
Was there a specific thing, a specific creator, a specific group of creators, or a specific pattern that you saw that kind of pushed you over the edge?
Hell yeah, Obsidian, his bitch ass, absolutely. He's a sham. And once I start realizing and listening and knowing people that know him in real life, and even the stuff that Kevin Samuels used to tell me about him, I used to be like, you're absolutely right. So he was one of them. But all the Black Manosphere guys are living a whole fucking lie.
Everybody listen, it's gotta stop. Okay? Marriage and the sanctity that once came with it. It is either on life support in the United States of America or it has died.
I'm not red pill. I can't stand the space. I think it's a sham.
At some point in time, ladies, I hope the Shade Room is watching. Because my nephew tipped me off to that site, and I see some of the things y'all talk about. Oh, y'all welcome on the Stephen A. Smith Show. Please come. I want to talk about this stuff. Ladies?
I feel like that being in this space made me feel like, made me feel less than. It made me feel bad about myself, being 40, being a mother. I literally drunk the Kool-Aid, and I felt for a long period of time that no one would want me.
We're putting you on probation. We're putting you on probation.
Bring your monkey ass to the front of the congregation as women and start to apologize.
Yeah, LTTV, Blunt Talk with LT, back at it with another video. All right, let's get right into this one. Quick disclaimer, y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is
Every time I pause the screen with this guy on the screen, god damn it, let's get through this before I get into the introduction, y'all.
You ruined our communities. You decided to tether yourself to the government in order to make sure that you can tear your fucking family apart. You followed white women because you thought that they was better than us, and you decided to turn against your men. You decided to go and open up your legs to a nigga that was.
Hold up. What is this shit?
Hold up, y'all. This nigga loud as shit. Hold up, we can get back into this zesty mess. Hold up, y'all.
Even supposed to be with you in the first place, and your daddy told you to don't open up your legs till you get married. You the one that did this shit. You ruined the community. You voted in fucking Obama in order to have this fucking alphabet community be at the forefront of his movement, and you then voted in Biden. You was the ones that swung the fucking election. You the one that did all of this dumb shit. And you keep on blaming it on men, talking about it ain't no strong men. No, we've been carrying this shit. The only reason that we halfway decent in the first place is because...
Shut your bitch ass up before I get to talking shit about you.
Now, this is a disclaimer to Stephen A. Smith, because Stephen A. Smith has invited the Shade Room and many of the relationship talks onto his platform. So the Stephen A. Smith show covers a bevy of covers. What the fuck did I say? What? The Stephen A. Smith show covers a bevy of topics. Wide range of topics. It's not just sports on the Stephen A. Smith show now. So he has decided to get into the relationship talks. But he has to be warned because folks, he invited all sorts of people to call into his line. We're going to get into his statements later. Folks are going to try to run that Manosphere bullshit ass narrative on his channel. So he needs to be aware of the folks that call in, and he needs to be aware of this internet space, the red pill Manosphere fuckery, with these guys constantly complaining and blaming women for everything. All their problems in their life, all the problems in the community is the women's fault. So I had to revisit this footage. It's not the full footage. We don't need all that zest, but it's a clip of, you know, what type of shit turns people off in the Manosphere and the red pill space. The type of complaining and the finger pointing and the adversarial attitudes that take place on these panels. The gender war fuckery. So Stephen A. Smith wants to get involved in these talks because he's speaking about, the divorce is running rampant. Everyone's getting divorced. It's divorce season right now. We're seeing all these celebrities break up. All these families get broken up. Everybody's getting put on child support. So what does everybody want to do? Discuss these topics. But there's a way to discuss these topics without having a full Manosphere tilt, a slant where you're caping for all men and you're pointing all fingers at women. There's a way to have these conversations, and this is not the way. This is an example of exactly what is wrong.
Get him out of here! He's got no place in here! Get rid of him! Okay.
We've been carrying this shit for the last 100 million years. We've been suffering. Fighting for your monkey asses, taking care of y'all, being step baby daddies and putting ourselves under the thumb. You won't even advocate for updating family court laws.
Big Apple's here now.
Keep mobilizing and using people's sons and their daughters in order to get them to do things that you want to do, and manipulating men and putting them in your fucking phone as food and taking advantage of dudes and then saying what it is that you don't bring to the table. Bring your punk ass to the front of the...
Now, it's also important to not take on the incel issues. Talking about getting saved in a phone as food.
We don't care. Let me tell you, we don't care.
We ain't taking on those issues, bruh. That's low level dust. Nah, we ain't doing that.
Congregation, I'm so sick of y'all.
I gotta confess, I'm getting into it.
All right, so this is Stephen A. Smith. Let's get into what Stephen A. Smith says before we get into Courtney Michelle talking about the Manosphere hoodwinking and finessing women, because that's what the Manosphere did. A lot of women bought in to the Manosphere in the Manosphere's message. Kevin Samuels was heavily responsible for that, and then these other content creators kind of took advantage of what Kevin Samuels did, jumped on the bandwagon and took it left. Nonetheless, Courtney Michelle's going to speak about being indoctrinated and suffering, pretty much suffering while being involved in the Manosphere red pill content creation space. And I've been saying this. They use women for fodder, and I say women, they be signing up for this shit. For whatever reason, some women actually genuinely want to work on their relationship and get good advice because they bought in. Courtney Michelle speaks on being indoctrinated. And then there's obviously the other ones that are in it for clout and then act like they're victims after. And it's like, you just signed up for this shit for clout. You knew exactly what this was. You knew women were getting fodderized and disrespected on these panels, and you went here for clout, and then you come crying to us like we supposed to give a fuck.
Crying to me, and I'm not having that.
So there's always both sides to it, but let's get into what Stephen A. has to say about the gender war, because I don't know which angle he's going to get in on this. I hope he doesn't get in on the gender war. We never know.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, how can I put this?
Whoa, we need to give Stephen A. more volume. Pause.
I'm 55 years old. I've never been married, and I'm happy about it. Now, that ain't the most popular thing to say. Okay?
Now, Skip Bayless said this. He said that he knew he would have to forego any parenting or any family opportunities that he could have potentially because of the business that he's in. The same business that Stephen A. Smith is in. So he knew that he would be a terrible father. So he's like, forget it. I'm not even going to have kids. He ended up getting married in his 60s. So it's like he found Ernestine. He speaks about on his podcast, or I don't even know if his podcast is still going out. I think the ratings were kind of doo-doo, but nonetheless, he speaks about that.
It's not the most popular thing to say. And the reason why it's not the most popular thing to say is because we live in a country and we live in a nation where we talk about, the Bible talks about how a man who finds a wife finds a very, very, very good thing. And I am not the kind of heathen that one would surmise that I am. So because of that, I want to defer to biblical scripture.
Okay, right before we get into that, we had 2 super chats that came in at the end of the last show, so let's get into them. Yardley Moyes with the $5 super chat.
I'm getting rich.
He says, hey brother, I'm from and live in Patterson, MLK Boulevard. I could fully confirm DJ Envy and Pena are scamming folks. DJ Envy gonna get fired real soon. So Yardley Moyes left this comment. Hold on, let me get some water because I'm struggling out this bitch. So he said, hey brother, I'm from and live in Patterson. I can fully confirm DJ Envy and Pena are scamming folks. DJ Envy gonna get fired real soon. So I spoke to this dude. I reached out and I have not got a response. I was trying to get an interview. I was trying to get some more details. Got to follow all leads. And yeah, no response. Shout out to you for the $5 super chat.
I'm getting rich.
Shout out to Anti-Gravity 74 with the $5 super chat. Anti-Gravity 74 says, hold on, let me see if I can pop this one on the screen because this is the last one. Here we go. He could just come out ahead of this saying, I didn't know he was scamming. I was wrong to platform him. It'll be BS, but most people would buy that. That's facts. That's what he could have said. That's what Envy could have said. This is last episode's Super Satch, so if y'all didn't see last episode, then y'all are lost. But nonetheless, that's facts. If he came out and been like, hey, I didn't know he was scamming, but ultimately display that he was scamming and not try to act and weasel out like you were trying to do, then it would be something different. And some people would buy it. People are simple-minded, and most people don't really give a fuck anyway. But let's get into it, y'all.
And I want to say to you, I get it. I understand. But I hope that my pastor, Pastor A.R. Bernard, Christian Cultural Center, Brooklyn, New York, spiritual father, and he understands that there are some people that are there, and there's some people that just work very hard to get there. And I'm one of those people that I work very hard to get there, but I haven't quite made it there yet. Okay? Now, one could easily surmise that a past rife with some degree of promiscuity might have, dare I say, contributed to my desire to be single all of these years. But that was before. That was a long time ago, long time ago, okay? I'm not that guy anymore. I'm not that guy. I swear. But that is not the reason.
What the fuck?
I am not upset about being single. Somebody got to talk about it. So I'm going to talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, you read this story about rapper Jeezy, how he filed for divorce from his wife, Jeannie Mai, after only 2 years of marriage. In legal documents, he claims their marriage is irretrievably broken. Now, Jeannie Mai challenges Jeezy's divorce.
Now, we've heard a bunch of YouTubers breaking a bunch of stories in regards to Jeannie Mai and Jeezy's divorce. We've heard that Jeannie Mai was trying to move her family in, and their family was dusting it up in his house, and he didn't want her family there. There was also reports that Jeannie Mai was challenging, combative, and controlling, and Jeezy wasn't having that. There's all sorts of reports. We don't know the truth at this current junction, but let's get into this.
Former friends, that's why they former friends. Former friends are saying she's after his money. Now, I ain't trying to get in people's business. All of this stuff is publicized, stuff like that. I don't get into people's private business. If it's public, it's public, but I don't expose their private business. Talk about what you do on the field of play, court of play, stuff like that. But I don't get it. I don't go this route. I'm not bringing this up to get into their private business. I'm bringing it up to make a point. I want everybody to listen. I want my nephew sitting to my left. I want my sister sitting to my right. I want my staff sitting outside. I want everybody to stop talking. Stop talking. I want everybody to listen to me, just like I'm asking America to listen to me. Just like I'm asking people worldwide to listen to me. From all over the world. It's YouTube we're talking about here now. I need everybody to listen to me right now. Everybody listen. It's got to stop. Okay? Marriage and the sanctity that once came with it. It is either on life support in the United States of America, or it has died, and we have just refused to give it a funeral.
Now, this is in wake of a bunch of celebrity divorces.
All due respect, shut the hell up. I don't want to hear that.
This is what I'm talking. Yo, do not sell the larger population of regular folks at home this despair, this scarcity mindset, this devastation in relation to these marriages just based on these celebrity divorces. They're celebrities. They live a completely different type of life and lifestyle than normal folks. A lot of these celebrities have dusty business practices when it comes to these prenups and these baby mama situations. Like, let's be real, when we hear some of these stories that break out, it's like, how do you not handle your business better than this? How are you getting finessed like this? What is wrong with y'all? Nonetheless, most of these problems are not applicable for the regular everyday middle income regular citizen. But you know, we'll entertain this because we have the marriage stats and all these things. But let's get into this, y'all.
Somebody got to say it. So I'm going to say it. Now, I want to be clear. This is just what the evidence shows. In terms of feelings, I'm not talking about myself. I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about those people. Y'all. Jeezy is asking for joint legal custody of their child, which would relieve the rapper of any child support obligations. My opinion is he should have legal custody and should still give child support, because your child doesn't stop needing support when she leaves you. She needs it after she's gone and she goes back to her mother too, or he. After they go back to their mother.
What?
Okay, so he says this now, but he also says something that kind of contradicts what he says here. So make sure I stamp that at 923.
Child
Let's get
support
it.
is not a part-time thing. Okay? I have 2 daughters. I pay child support. Nothing involves any legal kind of documents. Do you know why? Because the mom would probably get less. Because any legal kind of documents. Do you know why? Because I have 2 daughters. I pay child support. Nothing involves any legal kind of documents. Do you know why?
This is why.
Stop the cap.
Because you don't pay child support, my nigga. You're taking care of your kids. You're providing finances to your children and the mother of your child, and you're doing what you need to do. You're not paying child support. That's not child support. Child support is the legal documents that you're forcibly having to pay. It's not the same. Come on, man.
Brother Jumpy, you in the chat, brother. You in the chat, dog. What is this, Brother Jumpy? Help me out. What is this?
Because the mom would probably get less. Because I'm a very generous daddy. I love my baby girls. They are my world. And I come out of pocket all the time.
Yo, shout out to Duke the Don, yo. I was watching that. I had to steal that drop. That shit's hilarious, yo.
Without hesitation, because it's my responsibility to make sure that they're enjoying the quality of life that I want them to enjoy, which is obviously one of affluence, if I can help it and afford it. But I digress. Kevin Costner, man married 18, 19 years, recently reached a settlement in his divorce proceedings. That brother got to give up over $60,000, $73,000 a month.
I'm sorry, how much?
19 years, recently reached a settlement in his divorce proceedings. That brother got to give up over $60,000, $73,000 a month.
All right, see, the thing about these things, when we hear these numbers, you're like, holy shit, that's the devastation. You're paying all of that per month. We already know how the child support works. We've covered child support court how many times now? It's a percentage of your earnings. They have, man, we'll break that down shortly.
Other recent celebrity divorces, Tiana Taylor and Amon Shepard. Oh my God, that just hurt my heart.
This feeds into the manosphere fuckery. It feeds into the unaccountability of the outcomes of these situations. A lot of these things are life. It's just life. Yeah, it's devastating. Yeah, it hurts these people to come up out of these pockets to take care of their own goddamn children. But, you know, it's just life, bruh. This is a part of being a man. And a lot of the times these men want to complain all the time, and it's like, hey, you get what you sign up for. This is the cost of it. You don't want to pay it? Be happy single like you've been, Stephen A. But when you're feeding these random, the incels and the manosphere, the red pill heads, you're feeding them this bullshit. Oh my God, he's getting charged all this money. $67,000 to $73,000 a month. We have Tyrese pulling the...
I'm at $13,000 a month. What more do you want from me?
And everybody's devastated, thinking that they're going to lose all that money. Meanwhile, they're dusty. They don't have that type of money. So what are we talking about?
How
The average citizen and the average person getting married is not worried about these things to the same degree. Of course, child support's devastating random folks. We see it every day. We see it every day. But you got to be accountable and responsible for your decisions. A lot of these guys are like, oh, the woman has the decision to abort the child. She didn't do it. I didn't want the child, but she gave birth. It's like, bro, you nutted in her and watched her carry it to term. What are you talking about? You don't want that child, don't nut in her. Wear a condom. Pull out. Do something. Or live with the consequences. Listen, y'all. Life ain't gonna be a storybook ending for everybody. Some people gonna have to live with their mistakes and their L's. But let's get it, y'all.
My Lord, I know him on Shumpet. That's my dog. I love him. And Tiana, I mean, she's good people. I got nothing to say about them. It's their business. I'm just saying, I was sad. That hurt me to say that, even though they've been separated for a while. You know, like she said on social media. Hugh and Deborah Lee Jackman. Divorcing after 27 years. What happened to Death Do Us Part? What happened to that?
We don't care.
Let me tell you, we don't care.
None of this endures, Stephen A. This is what I'm talking about. Once you start getting into these conversations, it leads you down a rabbit hole. It starts off innocent now. You're just making some points. You're looking at these divorces come in rapid succession. It's like, holy shit, like we can't get through a month without like 30 divorces. It's like, what's going on? But they're all celebrity divorces. People make a big deal out of it, start panicking. It's like, my nigga.
But I digress. Britney Spears, and Sam Asghari. I will say this, Sam. No shade on you whatsoever. I don't know your business, don't want to know your business, ain't casting no aspersions on you. But when you are in a divorce with Britney Spears and stuff like that, it would help that your last name didn't start with ass. But I digress.
Jesus Christ, what? All right, so there was a comment that I need to read right now. You said, if you're rich and still get married, I honestly don't feel sorry for you losing half. If you're rich, you worked hard. If you're Stephen A. Smith, let's use Stephen A. Smith as an example since he's on the screen and he's happily single and not trying to get married. Let's say Stephen A. Smith decides to get married. If Stephen A. Smith does not put in an ironclad prenup, several months or probably even a year prior to the marriage, so there is no, oh, it was under duress, all sorts of bullshit. You get an ironclad prenup and move forward. Outside of that, what is the point? If you don't want that, you're already rich. Are you trying to make a family? You already have kids. These things aren't applicable to anybody. If you're just trying to do it for you want the romance and taking care of each other while you're older, all that shit, grow old together type shit, get married, but make sure there's a prenup in place so nobody has an incentive to leave. But at the end of the day, you're still probably going to take care of the woman after for a little bit. You're Stephen A. Smith. We know how you move, but let's get it, y'all.
Sam Asghari. Okay? Just saying. You know people use that against you, bro. Not me. I just want to say that. My point.
Shout out to Moxie Wits with the $2 super chat.
I'm getting rich.
Moxie says, unless you need your bills paid, Stephen A. Who? Jesus Christ.
Who? I'm just saying all of this is to say, at some point in time, ladies, I hope the Shade Room is watching. Because my nephew tipped me off to that site, and I see some of the things y'all talk about. Oh, y'all welcome on the Stephen A. Smith Show. Please come. I want to talk about this stuff. Ladies, if the Shade Room wants to talk about female issues and the male perspective, and you want to get the male perspective, again, I ain't talking about myself. I'm
not talking about myself.
If you want to get the male perspective, ladies and gentlemen, in the Shade Room, which is obviously mostly ladies, I'll dedicate a segment every show to the Shade Room. Come on! Oh yeah, I'm here. I'm not that dude that was in Atlanta. What's his name? Kevin. What's his name? I forgot his name. No, I'm not that dude. Kevin Samuels. God rest his soul. He passed away. I ain't him. But I got some advice. I'm different than him. I think different, but I got some advice now. If you really, really want to hear it, ladies, I'll dedicate. I'm looking at my nephew right now. I'll dedicate a segment every show to the Shade Room, but only if you come. and you're going to give me your real opinions because I don't like fake stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, when you're talking about marriage, people are courting one another, people are loving on one another, people are supporting one another, etc., etc. You're spending money, you're putting a ring on the finger. By the way, fellas, don't get a woman a cheap ring. The ring doesn't represent her, it represents you. The cheaper the ring, it shows how much of a cheap ass you really are. You don't want that. You want the bling bling on the...
Now, this is one point I can agree with. This is where I agree with Stephen A. Don't buy no dusty ass, cheap ass ring because it does represent you at some point.
We're in a different era. Get over it. Whoa!
I agree with that. You know, some people say, you know, that's what's the word I'm looking for? Superficial. You're doing the most type of shit. You're feeding into the modern day fuckery. Nah. You don't have to get an extravagant or overly expensive ass ring. You don't got to be doing the most because, as he says, it speaks volumes of you. So if you're spending $100,000 on the ring, simping, doing the most, trying to lead with your wallet, that says the most. It says volumes about you. You lead with your wallet, you're a simp like that. But at the same time, you don't want a dusty ass ring that's not even, you know what I mean? But let's get into this, man.
Ring because it represents who you are and what she means to you. You ain't cutting corners. Just some friendly advice. But back to the issue of marriage. Y'all want to think it's men's fault because we don't want to commit. Y'all don't bring up the fact that there's some ladies.
Now, some Deion Sanders wears dresses in what? Deion Sanders wears dresses sports channel? That's your name? What the hell? You said I'm not buying no female an expensive ring. I seen dudes spend $500K on a ring and cheat on her. Well, those niggas is stupid. What the hell? Why you spending $500, man? Why you dishing primetime, man? Saying he worked. You know what? Let's get into this.
Out there that's stepping out on their man, we don't bring that up. It's always the dudes. It's always the dudes.
Sorry, what did he say?
Y'all don't bring up the fact that there's some ladies out there that's stepping out on their man. We don't bring that up. It's always the dudes. It's always the dudes. To some ladies.
Nah, we speak about that. Nah, man. Stephen A. He's missed out on the entire Manosphere wave, the entire red pill wave, the entire relationship talk space. Everyone speaks about that. The women cheating too, men cheating, women cheating, everybody cheating out, belonging to the streets. This new soundboard's kicking my ass. I can't find any of the drops, but shout out to Lucky Marie in the chat. Shout out to you know, I retire, man. Fuck this. I can't find anything. I can't. You know what?
That's all, folks.
What is this?
There we go. Yo, my bad, man. I'm reconfiguring the new soundboard, and it's just a struggle. Shout out to Lucky in the chat. Dusting it up, looking for that. But let's get into this, y'all.
Ladies are always innocent. My sister, my nephew's mama. My sister is a perfect example of that. Women are always innocent. We never do anything wrong. Y'all are the bums. Y'all are the scandalous people. That's my sister. Her name is Arlene. I'm doming her out. Okay? Men are always wrong. Women are always right.
Shout out to the Grey Pill Podcast with the $2 super chat. Grey Pill says, salute to the chat and panel. Likes are free. That's facts, Grey Pill. Y'all get these likes up. The likes are looking rather dusty as usual, but let's get it, y'all.
That is not true either. But let me tell you what is true. The court system in the United States of America got to do a better job. I'm not going to advocate that they step out of the way because there are some deadbeat dads out there who need to be held accountable. There should never be a single mother. I'm talking about finances because, by the way, my definition of a single mother is not a woman who is not married. A single mother, to me, my definition of a single mother is a woman who is taking care of the responsibilities herself. As long as you have that dad in the child's life that is providing for you and that child, you are not a single mom. You are not a single mom. You are a single mom when you got to hold it down yourself.
Now, this is another point I agree with. I agree with this. I agree with that. You're just a baby mother and a single woman at that point. You're not really and truly a single mother. You're single and you're a mother, but you're not doing the whole thing yourself. I agree with that point, but let's get into this.
Because the man ain't doing anything. But as long as he is doing his part, you are not alone. And if you are not alone, you are not a single parent. You might be single, but you are not a single parent. Period. So we got to stop that. And the courts have to stop it. Hold the man accountable for doing what he's supposed to do. Hold the woman accountable for doing what she is supposed to do. And then
Shout out to Dan Hilarious with the $2 super chat.
I'm getting rich.
Dan Hilarious says, keep up the good work, bro. Salute. Shout out to you with the $2 super chat. Let's get it.
outside of that, step the hell away. If Kevin Costner's monthly child support enables the children to maintain the quality of life he once provided, why should he have to pay extra so the wife that he's no longer with gets to maintain her quality of life? Y'all ain't together. You're an adult. Handle it. By the way, let me not stop. For you punk-ass men out there, provided, why should he have to pay extra so the wife that he's no longer with gets to maintain her quality of life? Y'all ain't together. You're an adult. Handle it. By the way, let me not stop. For you punk-ass men out there filing for palimony, trying to take money from a woman, you should be ashamed of yourself too. You healthy, you vibrant, you got potential, go out there and work. She don't owe you anything because she don't want you anymore, or vice versa. Children are different.
Hey, yo, Stephen A.
What the hell was that?
Nah, y'all are saying preach like he said something. When it comes to spousal support after marriage, y'all have to understand, when it comes to spousal support, some of these women are quitting their job to take on full-time, wifely, stay-at-home mother duties. So they're effectively out of the job force, being removed from the job force for a decade plus, sometimes 20 years. How are you just easily supposed to get accommodated back into the workforce? There's going to have to be a grace period, and that's where the spousal support comes in, where the nigga has to pay and shell out a little bit of money. Yo, people don't like life. People don't like these programs. Some folks should not get married then. They should look at it and be like, this is not an institution for me. I'm a selfish motherfucker. I don't care about the unit. I don't care about the family. It's really just me progressing in life. So fuck it. That's what folks should do at this point, because you got to understand there's nuance to this point. It's not cut and dry. It's not, oh, manosphere, men appeasing bullshit. And it's not just women accommodating women pandering bullshit. Y'all got to pay attention to the details and move accordingly.
Their quality of life should be maintained for their entire childhood. Whatever you once provided to them, you should provide for them until they're adults. Period. That means through college. After that, they on their own. But you should provide for that. But the courts got to stop coming here and milking people for money all the damn time. They got to stop that.
Shout out to Brother Jumbie with the $5 super chat.
I'm getting rich.
Wait, hold up. Let me pull this up on the screen so I can see this. His hairline on that nap helmet ain't sitting right with my spirit. Look like a Brillo pad on a brown tennis ball. Get them likes up, man. Jesus Christ. Yo, everybody cooks the man's hairline. Yo, he's hanging on, fam. He's hanging on. I fucks with Stephen A. Smith. Shout out to Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith. I put Stephen A. Smith on the GOAT list for the best speaker in sports morning show or whatever the list was. Stephen A. Smith does a good job. I watch First Take regularly. Shout out to Stephen A. Smith. But when it comes to the relationship talks, I don't know. He might want to avoid these. It might turn bad. He might realize how toxic these spaces end up turning. Because he said he's not speaking for himself. He's speaking for everybody else. And that will end up with him parroting a lot of these Manosphere crybaby complaints. And you don't want to do that. You definitely don't want to do that.
Because you're ruining the sanctity of marriage because everybody is saying, why the hell should I do that? I'm going to put her in a position where she think that she's entitled to my stuff. I'm the one that earned millions. I'm the one.
Chronic Introvert says LT smoking crack confirmed.
When does crack, now, so the cocaine's happening, when does that crack come into play?
Hey, yo, what the hell did I do?
Who was on crack?
My nigga, what do you disagree with? Call in. Hey, yo. Hey, yo.
I'm the one that was doing movies. I'm the one that was playing ball. I'm the one that was making movies. Why the hell do I have to do this for her? Because we don't want each other no more. That's a legitimate point. And it's time for the ladies to step up and acknowledge that. I hope you listening to me, The View. I hope you listening to me, The Talk. Whoopi Goldberg, Cheryl Underwood, and the rest of the crew. I love all of y'all. Y'all got great shows, by the way. I've been a guest on The View. I'm going to be a guest on The Talk, and I'm going back on The View. They know I got love for them. But come on now. Come on now. And all you female websites out there, Shade Room, yeah. My nephew told me about y'all. He told me about y'all. I'm embarrassed. I apologize. I never knew what the hell the Shade Room was until 3 days ago. I never knew what the hell the Shade Room was until 3 days ago. But when they told me there's a bunch of women on these websites to be commenting about this stuff.
I don't know about that, Stephen A.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
I don't know about that. You just heard about the Shade Room, Stephen A. Are you sure? How did you know you were getting dragged about your opinion for the Beyonce? Remember that opinion he gave about Rihanna? When Rihanna got that Super Bowl gig and she talked about, he spoke about Beyonce being a better performer in X, Y, and Z and him getting dragged by a bunch of women. Where did he get that information from? Was he not privy to the Shade Room at that point? I don't know. That's I don't know. To be that relevant of a figure in media and not know what the Shade Room is, it sounds kind of, he claims he didn't know who Kevin Samuels' name was either. I don't know, man. But you know, he's a busy person. He may not know, but
I said, what? Really? Oh, hell yeah, we gonna talk about this. Stevie A ain't running, baby. Stevie A ain't running. These are issues that matter to the American people and beyond. Last time I checked.
Now, this volume is at max volume. I can't turn them up anymore. Pause. So, it is what it is.
There are women and men across the globe throughout the planet Earth. I hear YouTube has access to all of them. They could be Hispanic. They could be Russian, Czechoslovakian. I don't know. Damn it, find a way to speak English and call into this show.
A lot of people at a certain point, and you know what point I'm talking about, they reached out to me and said, is everything okay with Courtney? In hindsight, how would you recap that period? What happened? What was it that you had seen in the space that particularly pushed you over the edge? And like, where are you now mentally?
Oh, what? You didn't tell me that. I know.
Yeah, E Black, you're in this video too.
Yes, the camera loves your nastiness.
Nah, E Black's not in the video, but he sent a super chat that stays in the back for a while. Pause.
You reached out to me. Was what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
But
it was a lot of people. I ain't gonna lie.
Really?
A lot of people. Yep.
You didn't tell me that.
At the time, I didn't want to overwhelm you. I just wanted to kind of focus on getting from you what was going on and how we could solve the problem. But yeah, a few people reached out to me. Even people you hadn't met were like, yo, what's going on with Courtney? So yeah, talk to him.
Okay. Well, I don't know if something's going wrong with me. I just think that you didn't have to do this. Okay, so I have been in this particular space for a while. And I just kept seeing things. How can I felt like I was brainwashed. I felt like I let red pill brainwash me, and me kind of realizing the people that are speaking in this space is absolutely fake, that they don't believe what they say. I started getting pissed off. And so a lot of my thing came out of anger because I felt like I was brainwashed.
What do we have here? You see this. This is what I'm talking about. Folks are waking up. Courtney Michelle woke up. See, Courtney Michelle is now engaged. Courtney Michelle checked the fuck out of the space, and now the results are speaking volumes. This is what happens, y'all. This space will have y'all inheriting other folks' issues, going on back and forth banters with folks you don't know to try to hold them accountable, dusting it up on panels night in, night out, being adversarial with women that you're never gonna meet instead of getting out there and finding solutions. So she checked out the space. She said, fuck this indoctrination. She's seen everybody getting exposed and cooked on various channels. I wonder whose channel she's seen to see people getting exposed and cooked. Or maybe she just found out for herself by watching and listening long enough. But nonetheless, these niggas got exposed as frauds, and she's seen the indoctrination. She's seen how it was a circuit of folks repeating the same message, like network television and 6 o'clock news. Everybody got their script. Everyone stick to their red pill script and reiterate the same message. It was indoctrinating a field of women, and their results were not speaking to them. The results said dusty. They remain dusty. They're like, this ain't it. We're spending all this time. We're pretty much being used for content, but our lifestyles are not improving. So she checked out of the space. I'm not saying that was her existence. I'm saying that that's what it was for a bunch of women in the space. She checked out, though. The second she checked out, she popped back up, engaged. So shout out to Courtney Michelle. Let's get it, y'all.
A little bit in believing something, and then realizing that some of the stuff that I believed in wasn't true. I feel like that being in this space made me feel like, made me feel less than. It made me feel bad about myself, being 40, being a mother. I literally drunk the Kool-Aid, and I felt for a long period of time that no one would want me.
And that is the finesse. That's the finesse of the red pill space. They will beat down these women, make them feel less than. But these are the same women that they really, truly desire, that they really want. They want access to. Beat them down to make them feel less significant, less confident, so all of a sudden they come around with their dusty self and qualify. All these men that have constant issues with women, these incels that love to point the finger at women for all their issues, want to bring down women a peg so they can feel like they're on the level. It's pathetic. Like, live a real life outside the internet, my nigga. Like, this is the problem with some of these folks.
I felt like I wasn't worthy of a good man because of my age, because I have a daughter.
You said, well, she kept buying into it. Do y'all know how many folks bought into the red pill fuckery? Do y'all know how much folks were confidently sitting up on their channels talking about, yeah, this is facts. And then when it went to shit, all of a sudden they're just conservatives. They're acting like they never said it. They joined in on the red pill hunting. But they got finessed too. So what are we talking about out here? There was a field of people getting finessed because it was a system. It wasn't one individual. When it was Kevin Samuels alone pushing for families to get together, it wasn't an indoctrination system. At some point, people got lost in the sauce, and then every channel was repeating and parroting the same narratives and the same existence and describing hoes that they have on the Fresh and Fit type panels and shows as all women. And men are all high value men. And we take those standpoints and we have arguments from that. It's retarded. So it's like, come on, man.
And then I had to get outside and was like, no, Courtney, you are worthy of love. You do deserve a good man because you're a good woman. And being in space, like I said, I felt so down on myself. And I don't want to be, I'm not red pill. I can't stand the space. I think it's a sham. But I don't want to contribute to women feeling like it's over for them. It might look different how you move, but love can happen. Relationships can happen. So yeah.
That's facts, Jackie Dollhouse. When I used to shoot weddings because I do videography for weddings, most of the weddings are 35 plus. You don't really see young people getting married in droves like that. You don't see that happening.
I was pissed off.
Mm-hmm. Not saying people over 35 aren't young. I'm saying like younger than that.
That's what happened to me.
Was there a specific thing, a specific creator, a specific group of creators, or a specific pattern that you saw that kind of pushed?
Destron says you have zero sympathy. It's not about feeling sorry. It's not about her activity. It's not about feeling sorry. It's not about her bashing anybody. It's about the simple fact that the red pill in the manosphere space keeps people single. It keeps people inheriting other folks' issues and arguing and combating. It keeps people adversarial instead of dealing with the actual problems in their life. They try to act like this is just a space for men to vent and share notes. It ends up becoming a place where women become fodderized, and then of course women use it for their advantage. You see the Fresh and Fit girls going up. They're going up in their subscribers. They're going up in their money. It's an equal exchange. Everybody's participating in for their own reasons. Nobody's a victim out here. We're talking about folks actually looking for solutions. Stephen A. Smith says he wants to get into this talk space, but for what at this point? You're not going to give people solutions. You're just gonna get thrown into the gender war. Nonetheless, anybody can do what they want to do on their platform, but you gotta be conscious or aware of what's going on in these spaces, because you will get thrown into the gender war label. You'll be labeled a red pill guy all of a sudden.
You over the edge.
And all of a sudden people will start calling you misogynist for no reason. So it's like, come on.
Well, hell yeah. Obsidian, his bitch ass, absolutely. He's the
edge.
Well, hell yeah. Obsidian, his bitch ass, absolutely. He's a sham. And once I start realizing and listening and knowing people that know him in real life, and even the stuff that Kevin Samuels used to tell me about him, I used to be like, you're absolutely right. So he was one of them. But all the Black Manosphere guys are living a whole fucking lie. They tell you not to date baby mamas, but all of them was with one. Okay? They tell you this, they all are. They don't want you, all these women and stuff, but they're in relationships with single parent. And it just was a lie. And just to...
Shout out to E Black with the $2 super chat.
I'm getting rich.
E Black says, read my super chat. So your super chat says, read my super chat. I read your super chat.
Learn the rules.
Talking about the other super chat and the other show, that's not my show. That ain't my show, bruh. I read super chats for my show, bruh. You want that same $5 super chat read on my show? If you want that same $5 super chat read on my show, y'all know what to do.
Hide the money, y'all.
Not that. Same super chat needs to be provided. Dig deeper, E Black. I'll wait. Let's cash up right now, E Black. Let's read that super chat.
I'm getting rich.
E-Black. I'll do a one-time. I'll do a one-time favor. Pause.
Stick together.
Mm-hmm.
Pause.
Dig deeper is also pause.
Stick together.
Mm-hmm.
Pause.
You know how these things get interpreted the wrong way. E-Black says, Gap lives matter. Hey, Courtney, better grow them locks before that George Jefferson kick in. Jesus Christ. So you were going in on Courtney like that? You said that George Jefferson was going to grow in? Or, hey, yo. E-Black out here violating. May the Alchemist says, you are nice and forgiving. Us women, don't forget. Shout out to you with the $5 super chat.
I'm getting rich.
Wait, you're a woman? You said I'm nice and forgiving? Hold up, y'all. I'm nice and forgiving. I guess I'm acting on this podcast and people got my character all the way fucked up. Because that ain't me. Not in the slightest. Not in the slightest. Yo, this is a struggle. Where's my You Got Me Fucked Up music? Hey, yo. Rough day for me. We struggling out this bitch, but we're forcing it. We are forcing it.
Got me fucked up. Got me fucked up.
I'm accountable, bruh. I know what it is. I see life for what it is, and I'm like, hey, yo. I'm not gonna blame anybody else for my shortcomings if there's shortcomings in any area. If I fuck up and make a decision, I'm not gonna be like, oh my God, I'm gonna be mad at you forever. I'm gonna look at what the fuck I did and be like, hey, yo.
See people making money, taking advantage of men that really need to, that's really looking for answers.
TaylorMade says, LT fussed at me the first time I got on here. LOL. He gets nice with time. Yeah, see, I read that. I read the chat without a super chat. I do get nice with time. And it is. Yo, it's facts. A lot of y'all, we kicked it off on the wrong foot. Some of y'all got cussed because I thought y'all were agents on first appearance. There's all sorts of fuckery. Because I don't really take folks in the chat seriously until I know they're an actual human being behind that profile. Taylor called in and then I spoke to Taylor and it's like, okay, you're an actual woman behind that profile. You're not some dweeb in his basement dusting it up, trying to act like a woman behind a profile pic. Meanwhile, it's just some fat nigga.
I'm not in my bedroom. You are, and no one can hear you.
So that's why I don't take some of these commenters seriously, and sometimes I'll cuss bad word at some random commenter because I don't know who you are. You're just a profile pic and a name. Until I actually know the person. Then they're a real person. But until then, they're an NPC. E-Black, stop disparaging my show. This nigga, every second, we don't care. What do you care about, E-Black? What do you watch my show for?
What more do you want from me?
Shout out to E-Black. Hold on, let me pull this up on the screen. E-Black says, we don't care. Get the likes up.
I'm getting
Shout out to E-Black TV with the $5 super chat.
We don't care. Let me tell you, we don't care.
Answers.
Right.
And they're looking for answers in men that are lying to them. Even in the White's bar with the Just Pearly things and how she's a complete scam artist, telling all the men what type of woman to get, and she's the exact woman that she's telling men not to be with.
That's facts, Pearl. Pearl's built like me, Pearl. We don't want you.
Shut your bitch ass up before I get to talking shit about you.
Big ass shoulders and shit. What are we talking about out here?
It's like, it just was an eye-opener. So, yeah, I was pissed off, and I wanted to smoke with everybody.
Yeah,
But I have calmed down
that's good.
a little bit.
A
little feisty still.
No, I understand. I understand. So what is your focus now? Because I know you've kind of gone away from the Manosphere stuff, collaborating with Manosphere creators, other than like O'Shea. What do you think your focus is now?
Well, the stuff that I do, like I said, I haven't really done any lives because my focus is off there.
Hold up. We got a $5 super chat. Shout out to A Lady 747 with the $5 super chat.
I'm getting rich.
A Lady 747 says, LTTV, we see so few straight men that really like women in this space. LOL. You are an anomaly. What the hell? Hey, yo, what? There's barely any straight dudes in this space? Saying they're all zesty out here? So every disclaimer, every whoa. Hey, yo, she just sprinkled the zest on everybody out here. Certain folks are under review now. What is going on? What is going on? I'm thinking that these niggas are just incels. I'm thinking that these niggas is mad, they're hurt. I'm not thinking that it's going all the way to the full zest. I'm not thinking that we're in a space that is completely this.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is
Shout out to A Lady 747 with that super chat, but I hope I'm not an anomaly out here. I hope I'm not the only straight nigga out here and the rest of them are just, I hope that's not the case, man. I hope that's not the case. Shout out to Brother Jumbie with the $2 super chat. Brother Jumbie says, Pearl looked like Triple H from WWE. Jesus Christ. Yeah, when I see Pearl, I'm like, come on.
Shut up, Meg.
Shout out to Brother Jumbie with the $2 super chat.
I'm getting rich.
Internet. My life is off the internet. So some of the stuff that I post, it is, like you said, dating after 40. That's important to me because, again, of my age and, being realistic about things like that. But I don't want to keep bashing. So I'm not here trying to say, oh, black women are all this and black men are all this. Fuck that. No, I'm not. I'm just talking in general and stuff that is helpful. I did something about,
Shout out to Artichoke Hearts with the $5 super chat.
I'm getting rich.
Artichoke Heart says you are definitely an anomaly. Jesus Christ, I'm still on the boat that I hope that I'm not, and I hope that it ain't that zesty out in these streets. I hope that these guys, I don't even hope. I know that most of these niggas is grifters. I know there is a bunch of zesty folks. There is a bunch of zesty folks. One called in, I had to hang up on him because he was bullshitting. I know there's zesty folks in the space. There's a whole bunch of these guys. I know for sure. But I hope I'm not an anomaly. God damn it, man.
The soft girl era, but this woman said some 10 points that is her being softer. But I loved it because she's married with children. And even in her marriage, she's like,
Hey, yo, Brother Jumbie, what the...
Stick together. Pause. Knows he can have it. Pause. You see what I do when I got the rock. Pause.
Let me just put this in real quick.
This is Daniel, by the way.
To be softer in my marriage. So it's still like that essence of being in a relationship and being a woman that's married, but still understanding that it's some stuff that she has to still change to maintain and to keep a happy home. So that's stuff that I'm kind of focused on, stuff that I think matters. And I'm not into this bashing and fighting no more. I don't want to fight you. And I'm not going to continuously put out content to make us look like shit. I think we're amazing.
Fact. All right, so Mr. Castle.
Shut your bitch ass up before I get to talking shit about you.
We putting you on probation. We're putting you on probation.
All right, so we got Brother Jumbie in the back. Pause. Brother Jumbie, you want to... What up, man? We have you on camera now. What's up, man?
Hey, I wanted to say a couple things that Homegirl said made a good point, and I want to say super pause before I expand on that point. Pause. When I first found out, like Stephen A. Smith's old ass, what the YouTubes were, the first thing that fucking caught me off guard was legitimately, fam, that gaydar was going off, bro. And I live in Los Angeles, so you see it. And a lot of these dudes, I feel like they have these strong points against women is because they like men. Straight up, bro. And then the more shit started coming out with like videos of like Myron hugged up on dudes and then mannerisms and this certain conversations like there's never a scenario in which I would ever be in the same room as the Booty Warrior. I would never interview a man named the Booty Warrior unless I felt comfortable around Booty Warriors. I do not feel comfortable around Booty Warriors, so I ain't going to interview it or platform that. So I think what she said has a lot of merit, and I think if people start looking at these fucking talking heads instead of idolizing them, you'll see you're like, this dude likes the same thing your girl like, bro. Why are you listening to this guy? And then second point I want to touch on before I get too high and forget is the indoctrination. Somebody said something about, I think it was a lady, in the video, I'm sorry, about how it was indoctrination. One thing that really sticks out to me, if people want to go back and just deep dive, is a conversation Pearl Gangly ass posted with that one black girl from the UK. She was literally trying to convince her that slavery was embellished and that you should be submissive and all these things to a man while shitting on black men and their history and rhetoric. That's indoctrination. That's passive indoctrination. And so like I think one thing that this generation coming up, because I'm 37, doesn't remember about the previous with like television is called programming for a reason, guys. It's literally called programming for a reason. And so when you jump into these wormholes and you don't have proper discernment, a father figure, a mom that talked to you growing up, a hobby, you're not only not going to be able to discern the bullshit coming off the screen, you obviously are going to have a hard time in real life because you don't have people skills. And I think that's what these wormholes are creating. People skill lacking vacuums of dumbasses who are zesty. I for sure feel like a bunch of these dudes are zesty, especially the more they get to talking about what it takes to be a man. Bruh, not to fucking self-hype or nothing, but I've done a lot of things in my life that will be considered manly, professionally. On top of that, I have a family, my business, my home, and hobbies. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's the epitome of manhood. I'm handling my shit. I got money in the bank. My family's taken care of. Mom's good, wife's good, kids good. That's manhood. All this shit about dating OnlyFans models and driving Bugattis and going overseas with your boys to go party, that's all bromosexuals, what we call it in our field. Bromosexual. That's all I wanted to say before I get high. But yeah, shout out LT and y'all niggas get them likes up, fam, for sure.
No, those are facts, yo. Those are 100% facts. I wanted to definitely speak on some of the points that you were speaking on while you were going through the points, but I kind of lost track because you know me, I'm always high. I'm always losing track of my shit. But nonetheless, those are facts. Everything you were saying was facts, man. These guys definitely are on this bromosexual shit. It's definitely on that bromance, bros before. They take that bros before hoes shit to that Boondocks level where they're literally like they take it to that level. You see Myron in those pictures and shit. I'm not doubting the credence of a lot of these guys being zesty in this space. I'm just not going to stab them on some slander shit and be like, oh, you're 100% zesty for sure type shit. But you could definitely see the qualities that, you know, accumulate to looking at somebody and be like, you know what, that's kind of zesty. And when you spoke about the mannerisms and the way they speak, sometimes I catch folks in this space speaking like my girl. I'm like, yo, my girl would say something like that. The way she even sets up, I'm like, yo, why y'all speak like that, my nigga? Like, what the hell is going on here? So there's definitely that, 100%.
And you gotta think about who these guys are pandering to, too. Real shit. I remember I was gonna hop on one of those dumbass nigga fight club ass bunch of fat niggas yelling at each other, right? And so I'm in the back, I'm loading up, like I'm about to roast all these niggas. And I realize I'm one dude sitting in a fucking panel full of like 9 dorks. Like there's no way, bro. I'm not going there. In real life, I wouldn't go there. If I see 9 fucking fat dudes who couldn't get chicks over in the corner talking about how bad black bitches were, I'm not walking over in that direction. I'm not gonna go smoke weed with them, talk to them. I'm moving out the other way. I just started applying that to YouTube. I was like, man, I ain't trying to hear this shit. Who wants to hear another nigga who looked like Stephen A. Smith talk about how black women ain't shit? Who wants to hear that, bro? My mama's black, fam. Like, I don't want to hear that. But that's how they rally the troops. That's how they rally the troops. That's the bird call. That's the bat signal. Hey, it's time, go online, and we can all just spit out our bromosexual hate at women, straight up. I'm sorry, that lets me know they ain't got no woman at home.
That's the problem with a lot of these guys. A lot of these guys are single dudes in a talk space talking about, oh, I'm single, so I know the field and I'm out here dating. Meanwhile, they're incels. They're at home all day making content. So it's like, what are y'all talking about? Mr. Castle out here capping, Dick Rod and Myron. It's like, bro, if there's something you want to tell us, Mr. Castle, in the chat, you can come out, bro. It's 2023. Just fly your rainbow, bro.
Yeah, fly your free flag, fam. It's all right. Ain't nobody judging, bro. Just don't be over here talking about women. That's like me going to I never been to a D1 college and going on the football field talking about, all right, man, catch the ball like this. You're like, get your goofy ass out of here. That's the thing. They don't check these fools' fucking resumes, man. And that's why I think it's important to have channels like yours where people can go in and talk and discern. You can argue, you can talk shit, you can have all these points, but you have to still have proper discernment. You got to read the fucking media as it comes at you and know how to decipher it.
Exactly what you're saying. When it comes to the media, nowadays, folks, it's like when it comes to TV programming, it's like folks were aware of TV programming. They forget the modern day when it comes to YouTube and the way people set up these panels, and it becomes a system of programming. It's the same type of shit. And most folks that get on YouTube have no understanding of how media actually works. They just think there's a bunch of random folks sitting on panels having conversations. They have no idea of the long-term impact and the direction, the focus that folks are taking when they do these things on panels. And then some people are like Courtney Michelle, we're seeing in this video, she dealt with the ramifications of being indoctrinated and being like, hold up, wait a minute. This is some bullshit. This isn't critically thought out. This is everybody's repeating the same talking points. You have enough people agreeing to the point where they're like, you know what, maybe people are right because all these people agree, but it's just a sea of idiots. Just a sea of idiots regurgitating the same talking points they don't understand. So, and then there's people that are disingenuous and lying, which we've called them out and found out that they were just being disingenuous, lying, trying to upsell the promiscuity of young women to basically be unaccountable for their lack of opportunity in the dating sphere, which makes no sense too, because all these women are promiscuous, but you have no opportunity and you're dusting it up incel life. And none of this shit makes sense.
None of it. I lost track, LT, when I saw, and I know no shade to people because you got to get your money. Work is work, right? Apparently. I don't know. But I'll tell you this, the one moment I saw OnlyFans models and paid escorts giving relationship advice, I was checked out completely from anything that had to do with any of those spaces. Like, dog, this is literally the woman you do not want to marry or be around in a long committed relationship, have your money, your jewels, your homeboy, none of that around. But these are the ones giving advice because to me, it seems like a big circle jerk. It seems like a really big circle jerk. They got these girls on the panel. These guys are working they have their own OnlyFans networks. They bring their own girls on. You yell at these bitches all day, call them sluts, then you pay them money at night to see them naked. Then they regurgitate the same points to bring them in. But it reminds me of that old adage, a fool is born every minute. And I think that's what YouTube is better than TV at, because the accessibility. You can grab YouTube from anywhere. And the problem with that is you can grab it from anywhere. That bullshit. You know, it's hard to find channels that actually have conscious, critical conversation.
It's because most people, and people don't want to admit this, when it comes to the fans like to see the fuckery. So as much as people want to have informed conversations, they want to have real conversations and real nuanced conversations, YouTube is definitely comprised on extreme right, extreme left. Make an extreme talking point that gets a lot of attention, or make the extreme on the inverse side to get a lot of attention to shoot down that. There's the middle section, the nuance, the gray area. It doesn't really work too much on growing your platform in YouTube. That's why when they talk about people like Abba and Preach and Playback, and they try to diminish what they've done on the platform, I'm like, yo, being in the middle, not being super left or super right, and working in that area and having nuanced conversations, it's not easy to grow your platform. So people shit on folks like them, and it's like, you shouldn't shit on folks like them. That's the hardest way to grow. It's way easier to grow by being a bootleg Fresh and Fit and having a bunch of dumb hoes on your panel and then fodderizing them, and they're getting money on their OnlyFans and you're getting money and everybody's winning. So some people might look stupid on camera, but everybody's winning. And the only people that are losing are the fans because they're buying into the garbage. But the fans sign up for it, though. The fans are signing up for their own demise at the end of the day. We have to keep it a stack. There's a reason why when I do shows and I want to have a certain type of conversation, like a deep conversation that's felt, and we have panelists sometimes, I'll put a salacious title. And I'll put some clickbaity type shit. Oh, shit, great pull in the back. My bad. I don't know how long
Yeah,
you're back. I'm gonna bring out a third screen tomorrow. I'm tired of this struggle. I fail too much. We bring in a third screen tomorrow. Shout out to the Gray Pill podcast. I think I unmuted you now.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep.
What's going on, man? What's going on?
What's up, fam?
We got a $2 super chat. Let me get to that real quick before we get to you, Gray Pill.
Not much. How's everybody doing?
Oh shit, we got we got feedback. We got double voice. Hold up, let me read the super chat real quick. Traveling Tony 90 with the $2 super chat. Black YouTube is very toxic. I'm new to YouTube. Now, Traveling Tony, Black YouTube is not the only sector of YouTube that's very toxic. You're gonna find toxic bubbles in every sector of YouTube. Black YouTube definitely gets such a bad name when it comes to YouTube sectors, and really and truly, when you surf the other sectors, I think it's a lot worse personally. Okay, what up,
It just
Gray
depends
Pill?
on where you're going and what you're looking for. It just depends on where you're going and what you're looking for. That's all.
Oh, you're on a delay.
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
I remember E Black said something profound and it blew my mind. It's funny I'm saying that. E Black said, if you want to see YouTube in different eyes, log on from a different email or use a different phone that just doesn't have an email attached. And that's what I started doing. And that's how it was easier to sift through a lot of the bullshit on the streams, YouTube. And to disconnect from, like, I guess the cookies. Like what I search, what I've been
do that. I mean, you don't have to do that. Just leave. You don't have to do that, bro. Just leave from the space you just the previous was at. Go somewhere else and see how it goes. Because I remember some people would be on some toxic spaces, and if they came on my panel just in a chat, just their conversation, and you can kind of tell where they came from. But you have to kind of like this panel right here is a little bit different, right? So if somebody from that side coming on here, and the vibe, the element, the conversation is way different. Right. That's pretty much how you can sift them out. Or if that stranger coming onto this platform, they'll see something a little bit different. They'll move a little bit differently, so they know how to act. And then if they go back over there, like, oh, well, it's not like this. It's not like that. That's pretty much how it goes. I mean, you can try that if you want to. I think it's just a waste of a whole Gmail
No,
account.
I mean, not people-wise. Not people-wise. My bad. I'm talking about as far as what was popping up, algorithm programming-wise. Like as soon as I logged on YouTube.
Oh yeah, that's true. Because I have a whole nother gaming channel, so I don't even have none of this on here. It never pops up, never comes.
Right.
I even had. It was crazy because I was in like the most. I think it's worse than the spaces y'all mentioned, because they'll like pretty much call like CSI and other stuff. I don't know if it's the same, but I remember one channel was like, "How'd you find us?" They was already on high alert. Where'd you find us? How'd you know us? I'm like, the algorithm pushed you to me, and I saw you live. I clicked on it. I saw the conversation. I saw the link, so I clicked on it. Oh no, you must be from this. From like, no, YouTube pushed me to you guys, and it was so it irked my nerves so much. I think a month later, I did like a whole conversation about how the algorithm work, and if you click on it, don't recommend, don't subscribe, like all this whole rigmarole that YouTube does for you and against you. And for some reason, like, how these people don't understand this? But it's not that hard.
Yep.
But
yeah. I think for me, because I wasn't YouTube savvy, because I'm used to like live media, live shows and shit like that. Mm-hmm. So when I got on YouTube, that's like the other side of it. That's like after the show's done, that's a whole nother team, right?
Yeah.
I started watching the shows and stuff. So my whole YouTube algorithm for me was like fights, commentary, comic books, gaming, tabletop gaming type shit. And then as soon as I started researching like the red pill space and Manosphere and all that, my shit just flooded, fam. It melted. I've seen it everywhere. I was like, yo, that's not cool, dog. It got to a point where I was like, yo, even the YouTube in the living room, which is attached to a different account, started having like the little ads pop up of people I fucking don't like. I'm like, oh, this is wild. So that's when I started forcibly being on the app and searching and actively liking things, going to places, engaging in places that are more positive, and I've seen it change. But people don't understand, like you said, the way the internet works, or the algorithms work, or cookies work, or your digital footprint. And they walk themselves, as LT was saying, into oblivion. They just keep going, searching for this.
I would also say this too, and it's not for you, this is for everybody else. I think people are lazy also when they say, "Oh, I don't want to see this," but they don't want to take the effort. The same day was deep diving on getting a tea or looking to other people life on these on these channels or whatever these other like LTTV says the caricatures. I think the people are lazy to not to click the don't recommend, to go out the way to just make sure it's not coming up on their algorithm anymore. You know what I'm saying? E Black is right for us. The suggestion he gave you, like make a whole other account, and maybe that might be one. Like, hey, maybe this is the account for the Efri. Maybe this account just for the comic. This might be the account just for the home advice and the tools and trades and the stock market. That might be the account for you, but people is too lazy to go out their way just to try to make sure it's scrubbed clean from their algorithm.
Yep. I constantly put people on do not recommend. I see some dog shit that I don't want to see on my algorithm. I'm constantly hitting that do not recommend. Or I don't like this channel, do not recommend this. I hit that all the time because I want to keep my algorithm showing me things that I want to speak about, that keep me engaged in the news and the cycle of things that I want to talk about. So it's very important for me to kind of clear the fuckery, so I'm not watching things that I don't want to watch. So if I'm watching if I'm reacting to something and I'm cooking it, I've intentionally looked to watch that piece of material, and it's for content or it's just something that I've watched and I'm like, you know what, this needs to be spoken about type shit. So it's not an accident. I don't stumble on these things by accident. Fresh and Fit, Kevin Samuels, that whole space was not an accident, me stumbling on that space.
Right.
You know what's funny though? Because I have a question that keep popping in my head because I think Courtney is like the second person that's saying, "Hey, I woke up from the red pill manosphere. Fear is toxic. It's all this and that." How did they come up with? What was the moment for them to see that? Was it like, "Hey, I got the man, so now I see a little bit differently," or "Hey, people was close to me in those spaces that disrespected me too many times, and now I see a little bit differently"? It's kind of like saying, "Hey, I got caught cheating, so now I feel guilty because I got caught." You know what I'm saying?
That type of shit. See, this is the thing. I didn't get to that full part in the reaction yet. There's still some more things that she expounds upon. But what she says that stuck out to me is when she called out Obsidian. And she's like, Obsidian's cooning ass and X, Y, and Z. I think most of it started for people when Pearl was getting called out and Pearl was getting exposed, and she's seeing how, because she spoke about the black manosphere, they're all full of shit, they don't live their life, the life that they purport to live. A lot of that shit started when people seen black men cape for Pearl and kind of use and elevate Pearl's message while Pearl is being a representation of the modern woman that they said they shouldn't be. And it was confusing a lot of black women, and that's when I seen a lot of black women step out of whatever.
Yeah, but they made Pearl. That's the difference. They made Pearl. Pearl. I mean, I don't even like her at all. But the one thing she even said herself, like, look, I didn't ask to be labeled XYZ. I didn't be labeled to act the next Andrew Tate. Even now that one she's low key trying to claim just for the grip. But she didn't ask for this, but the people made her. But before her, it was the Fresh and Fit, the MLD, the Rollo Tomasi's. So I'm trying to understand, like, again, what's different? All of us guys back in the day that was watching these red pill guys, these manosphere guys, a lot of us knew they was full of crap. But we, like a lot of people in the chat, like, hey, I'm just here for the shenanigans. Okay, cool. At least you understand that. If you're here for the effery, the drama, the tea, but you say, you know what, I can separate myself from two, I'm okay with that. But it's the moment when you take that effery and try to say, oh, that's the truth, that's when it becomes something's wrong with you.
Yeah. That's facts.
Something that stuck out to me from what we watched in that video was what she said about once the grifters running out, they started going conservative. That's what Pearl did start that shit, fam. It was a wave, and I caught it from this end in LA because imagine being in LA. I've been here a decade, man. And fucking Adam 22, right? I hate saying his name, but Adam fucking 22 is a polarizing hip hop figure where all these black dudes are rushing to get their mixtapes and to try to get footage and to be cool with because of his ability to get them to a higher level. And as soon as that whole grift and thugging and all that shit went out the window, he went towards the more racist, far right conservative grip. And I feel like people should take a step back from the YouTube and kind of look at the world, because like we're going into election season. We have all this division amongst each other with talking points and shit, and we're stuck on these screens outside of us. The world's fucking moving against us, real shit. And you have our own people making very harmful content during a time where every fucking voice and opinion and shit matters. And so I see the grift in it, and I also see how just like the Manosphere guys are eating themselves. If I feel like if more people don't have more conversations, I think our community is going to start doing the same. Because look at how we can't even, and I hate to go back to this, they're hot subjects, but think about something like the lady with the brick, right? Think about how crazy that split us all up, you know? And come to find out at the end, that could have been a fucking grip. And everybody was at each other's throats, calling each other out, exposing each other, separating alliances. And we're all supposed to be here trying to help each other get to the next level. So I was like, oh, the ones who are smart, quote unquote smart, see this grift dying. And so now they're going politics or comedy or extremism. And it's the guys who can't hop and go to MMA or boxing, if you haven't noticed. And that's what I noticed from the media side in LA. I'm like, oh, these fools are attacking us now because something's going on over there. Like, I can't tell you how many dorks I hear constantly, yeah, I'm a YouTuber, trying to get $5,000 for their first fight. I'm like, bro, who the fuck are you? Like, you know, for real. But in the YouTube world, they have mad people that'll come and sell tickets, so they have leverage. And we're like, oh, fuck, what's going on? I came over here and seen what's going on in the YouTubes, man. I was like, oh, this is the Grift Network. Like, when I showed you, LT, we were watching in the gym, literally it was a bunch of coaches in our break. We're discussing a youth program type shit. And I was like, watch this shit. Because that's the point they heard from the kids. You know, we're 37. We don't know what the fuck's going on out there like that. And then when the kid comes in and says some shit, I'm like, what, nigga? My father would sock the shit out of me for saying to me, where'd you hear that? And they drop it, you go look them up, and it's one of these fucking Manosphere idiots.
These red pill guys, they assimilate other people's talking points to the level that they are taking the Pearl women should not vote talking point, the dumbest of dumb talking points. They're actually running with it. Now you see Fresh and Fit and you see others actually running with that talking point. I'm like, y'all are really following Pearl down to the depths of hell. Y'all know Pearl is just saying all the wrong things in her. I have not seen anything from her platform recently. I see King Riches is doing less numbers than me currently. Like, everything is unraveling over there. Like, it is real dusty. I went over there just to clown King Riches. I'm like, what can I cook King Riches on? And I seen the views, and I'm like, you know what? Let me just say a eulogy and just leave the channel alone because this is real dusty out here. Like, you have
especially that new guy. Yeah, especially that last new guy who's like, "You just smoke, bro," as he hugging onto Pearl's plaque, and I'm like, "Bro, my channel is better than yours, and you got 40K. Like, come on, don't do that. Don't do that." When Duke was cooking him, that's the only reason I gave his channel attention. Duke was like, "Look at Duke was comparing channels," and I was like, "Let me go to his channel." I went to his channel, like, hey, my channel's better than yours.
Yo, it's so sad over there, yo. Hugging the plaque.
Oh. Hey, you know what? I real shit. I felt this is me just being unapologetically like black, like straight up black as fuck. I felt so bad for that fucking goof. When that fool was like, he was sitting there, all those upper muscles, looking like a fucking gap tooth Eazy-E from Britain, right? And this fool said, at least I'm not dating a black guy. And he just, nothing. You can like see like the schism in his brain. And then him trying to cape like why he did nothing. Like, bro, I got family out there. I was calling my cousins and shit like, yo, who is this Riches? They're like, that's not the Mandem. That's Pearl, slave ship. And they started breaking it down from that point of view. And I was like, what? He was like, anything for the peace, fam. Those fools will do anything for the peace. Like, and I was like, damn, that fool will just get disrespected for money. Wow. Like, that's what it looks like, you know? And then, mind you, then they called the big rift between UK and European blacks from Africa arguing with American about Black culture shit, and like that was nuts to watch. And I wasn't a part of YouTube that was dusty and zesty as fuck when I caught that, but from what I did catch was like those arguments, man, were fucking foul, dog. I was sitting here watching Black dudes from like Brixton, like the niggas on the roads, argue with stupid ass LA niggas out here over Pearl and shit, and just destroying each other online. And I was like, why are y'all going so hard over this shit? This ain't Tupac Biggie. I'm gonna say,
I'm gonna say it again, man. Mental health is a real thing. Mental health is a real thing. Again, understand the two when you're watching it. Don't take everything as 100%, because even the stuff, from Courtney Michelle saying like, look, I was pretty much stuck on stupid. I fell into the trap, and she ate up everything, which is sad. So I would just suggest this to everybody else again: take everything from a grain of salt.
Yeah,
just take it from a grain of salt. If somebody, even the conversations we're having, and you feel like, oh, I rock with LT, I rock with Great Pill, I rock with Brother Jumbie, but if there's some conversations you could have back and forth with it, have the conversations among yourself and just move on with it.
Yep.
Even on my channel, I say it's perspective only. Again, I have my own strong biases. I try so hard to bring people in it, because I'm like, look, let's have a group conversation. This what it is. Let's move on. Anything separate with me, it's on that person. Just because I know clearly, like Pearl, Rolo, MLD, the other big so-called Manosphere guys out there, Andrew Tate, on them guys, Sneeko, because I know they're hardcore using. They're grifting. They're using their own narrative to push something. They're saying so much crap, just to the point. If you could just read their comments, the comment section alone was just like, you got so many sheep, and it's sad that people follow stuff like that. For me, when I came on this side, Brother Jumbie, and I told this before, it just reminded me of NPCs from a game. It reminded me of people trying to grind from a whole other video game level, and it's weird to see for actual adults versus actual video gamers. Gamers, when they're on that side, it's like, hey, I'll throw some trolling, I'll trigger you a little bit. I call the day, the unplug, go to work, go to MMA, whatever stuff you do, and then rinse and repeat, do it all over again. Only because then they have priorities. It's my priority. Hey, let me work. Let me get my 9, 8, 10 hours. I have the time to get on a game because I have the time. My bills paid, everything's good. But if you're here 6 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours, 11 hours, and then I go to sleep, I see with the same clothes on, wake up, see with the same clothes on, what is going on?
Yeah.
Yo, let me read this super chat real quick, and we can hold that and get right back into this. So, Traveling Tony 90 with the $2 super chat.
I'm getting
Traveling Tony 90 says, this is the most educated Black live stream I seen. Yikes. Shout out to you with the $2 super chat. I haven't even said anything much of substance, but shout out to you.
I didn't know this was Black Talk.
Hey, if we want to fix it, everybody just start freestyling real quick. Let's just dust it up.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm good.
I had somebody on the white man's side, like, one was giving me props at the same time they was giving me props. It was like, yeah, it was like, what is Grape? It was like, he's Black YouTube. I was like, Black YouTube? Where'd that come from?
Jeez. Yeah, even this comment, I'm like, yo, this is a good comment, but at the same time, I'm like, I gotta take this with like, it's like this is the most educated Black live stream I seen. I'm like, shout out to you, Traveling Tony, but damn, man, some of those comments, the compliments are like, they're good compliments, but we don't know. I don't know how to take them at least sometimes. I'm like, do I even want to go back and forth? Do I want to be a contrarian with this compliment at this point? But because I'm kind of nitpicking with it, but it is what it is. Shout out to you. Okay, so. Shit, I lost track of the point you were making. You were talking about folks popping up in the same clothing stream.
Oh yeah.
Fuck. All right, it's pretty much no life in it when you got no life. That's pretty much the whole point. You got no life. But I'm ready to get into the whole, finish out the rest of the video if you want to show that. Or you want me to drop, or however you want to do this?
Yeah, man.
See, this is the problem. I have not figured out how to seamlessly stream this while having y'all on the panel, because every time I try, it's so inconsistent. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'll try it right now and see if y'all could see this.
Yeah.
Thanks. A lot of people think you're amazing, Courtney. So
the
energy
is
reciprocated. Trust me, I know.
I can say that,
but
back because I'm watching on my phone on another monitor. So it's not showing how he want to show us. But okay, now we're good.
Oh, okay. So
I can see it.
does it show? But can you guys hear it as well? Let me play it so y'all can
Play
see.
just a few seconds.
What do you think?
Play a
What
few
do you think
seconds of
should
it.
be the future of this space?
I'm playing it.
Right. So when the Obsidians and
No, it is a frame. I could drop down, bro. And you can
Yeah,
finish
bro.
up.
I can drop back, finish up.
All
Yeah.
right, and,
Yeah,
all
I
right,
really
cool.
want to hear the rest of this.
All right, cool. Respect, bro.
All right, fam.
Let me remove
right.
this real quick. All right. Hold up, y'all. Shout out to the Gray Pill Podcast. Shout out to Brother Jumby for calling in. All right, y'all, let's get it.
Angry people are kind of, over the hill. Where do you think the space should go, just in your opinion?
I was watching he's a pastor, but he's also a dating coach, and he's been married for over almost 3 decades.
RC?
And
RC Blakes?
He's from Atlanta. He went to Morehouse. He's light skinned, and I don't know. I could put it up. No, he's not light-skinned. So I've been watching kind of like stuff like that, and for me, I think we need to move on to how can we really be together? What does that look like? How can we maintain relationships? How can we be the person that is proud to be, on someone's arm? So as far as a woman, I want to be proud that my man has me on his arm. So what does that look like? As a man, I want men to be like, man, yeah, I want a good woman. How am I going to make myself the best man ever for her? Like that stuff. I just want to move in something positive, more on focus on us really being together. This fighting shit, it's just worn out. How long are you going to talk about women ain't submissive? How long?
Yeah.
How long are you going to talk about I want fit, feminine, friendly? How long? Let's move on, because we're getting older. And just realizing, I don't know, like I said, being 40, I've lost a lot of friends at my age. Heart attacks, strokes, deleting themselves. And life is just too short to be fighting one another. And I just want to focus on how can we get back to loving each other. So that's what I would love to see this. Like, bitch, I love you, okay? This is how we're gonna work. I need talk to me a little more. I want to be a little bit more vulnerable to you, bitch. Come on, and that's what I want to talk about.
Yeah. The Crystal Hayslip video that you did a reaction to. You and her kind of have a few things in common. What was kind of your, because that video I think is almost at 1 million views as far as her video.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people have been talking about it. What was kind of your synopsis of what she was saying, the issues that she was having, and the whole nine?
What do we have in common? Let me ask that first.
You guys are both good looking.
What?
You both, are the same age.
Right.
Well, she lives in Atlanta. You used to live in Atlanta. Just stuff like that. So, like, what do you think is general takeaway? Because I had some things to say, but you had different things to say. But what was your general takeaway?
I think that, and this also goes into the whole Tyler Perry thing and what he's been, his backlash, right?
Yeah.
And funny because he said it on her show when he said women need to settle or whatever. I think when you hit a particular age, especially at 40, and not saying that you are just making 6 figures, but you have a decent job and you're able to take care of yourself financially, a lot of women feel as if they don't need a man. And she doesn't feel like she needs a man. She just wants a man because, quite frankly, she's lonely. So a lot of us look at men as, I said in that show, an accessory. As if you're not needed, I can take care of all my bills, so I don't necessarily need you. I just want you to be there. I think where she's getting it wrong, and a lot of us are getting it wrong, is that essence of not needing a man. Why in the world would a man want to be with you if you don't need him? And if a woman was told that, if a man told her, I don't need you, I just want you here. I just need a little something late night, baby. That's all I want you for. It's like, you would feel like shit. Mm-hmm. So we feel that way. Why would you not think that a man would feel that way? And I'm just saying, even to her and to other people of my age, just because you're 40 and you can take care of your bills, that's not living. Right. You need someone. What happens when something happens to you? Again, you get this age, you see people passing, you see people getting sick. Aren't you tired of your emergency number being your mama? You need a man. Men need a woman in their life. And again, like I said, I'm not going through this life by myself, because that's not living. My life is meant to be.
I would say, as a grown-ass man in any of these talking spaces, if you are in the red pill, the manosphere, or any of these type of things, I think that if you want to participate in the conversations, there's nothing wrong with that. But looking for direction and looking for leadership from these men in these spaces, that as a grown-ass man, you gotta look yourself in the mirror and reevaluate yourself. You should not be looking at these folks for leadership. That's where all the men in these spaces get fucked up. It's like, you want to participate, you want to share notes, you want to actually have conversation, cool. You want to learn from folks, you're fucking up. You're fucking up. That's what Great Poe was trying to say. These folks idolize folks on these platforms. I say it many times on my platform. I am not the arbiter of I'm not the arbiter of truth. Even if I make great points, or I make points that y'all agree with, I am not the arbiter of truth. But folks want to be that for their own ego on these talk spaces. They want to big themselves up because they know it's for branding. So they want to posture and be super alpha male, whatever bullshit thing that they slogan they put behind their shit, just so people to feel like they're super certified and they can rely on their commentary, so people buy into the finesse. But at some point, people got to take it for what it is. It's entertainment. It's entertainment.
With a husband, to travel, to love, to laugh. And that's it. But she's in her own way, and a lot of us get in our own way.
Absolutely. Afro Disciple makes a really good point, in my opinion. He says, can we get at least 5 to 10 years to speak our mind? We had to listen to black women for over 5 decades. How would you respond to that? Now,
this is an important talking point, and I'm happy it came to this point because I didn't know when it was actually in the breakdown. There's a lot left here. It says, can we get at least 5 to 10 years to speak our mind? We had to listen to black women for over 5 decades. Who in the fuck is the we here? Who? They're talking about we had to listen to women for 5 decades. That's that same Kevin Samuels talking point where he used, RIP Kevin Samuels, it's not to diss Kevin Samuels, he used this talking point to justify men speaking up on these platforms. Justify men speaking up and speaking back. Oh, we had to listen to women do it. He referenced all these different platforms and magazines where we had to hear women speak about the problems and issues that they had with men. Complain pretty much. And my response to that has always been, we're not fucking women. We are fucking women. What the fuck am I talking about? What? We are fucking women. We aren't women is what I meant to say. But we aren't, and I used fucking. You know what I try to say, man? I fuck up sometimes. It is what it is. We aren't women. We aren't women. So just because they did it, come on, Taylor. Don't do me like that. Don't clip that, man.
Hell no.
Don't do me like that, man. Listen. We're not women. If women do one thing, we don't justify what we do by saying, oh, the women are doing it. Oh, look at these bitches, they're doing it. Oh my God. Like, no, we're men. Develop some bass in that voice. Hit the pause when you say something zesty and move forward. You're a goddamn man. So if the women do it, who cares? And they speaking about women, we've heard black women do it for 5 decades. Who? Who are these women that we've heard complaining about men for 5 decades? And this is when I started to peel back the layers, and I'm like, wait a minute. We can always identify when a woman is speaking out of places from daddy issues. Absent father damage. We see those type of things prevalent. But we don't see the niggas with mommy issues. They heard their mother talk shit about black men. Their mother talk shit about their father. Their mother talk shit about how they ain't gonna be shit. All of that. So they internalize that and say, oh, black women have been doing X, Y, and Z. And that's why black women are always talking about, oh, but your mama black, but your mama X, Y, and Z, your mama X, Y, and Z, because most of it comes from their mothers. It really does. I'm going to keep it a stack. I've seen enough. I have seen enough. I have a fat evidence bag where I'm about to start pulling cards about a bunch of shit I've seen on social media with a bunch of folks moving a certain way. And I'm like, yo, it's definitely their mamas. They hate their mamas. Their mamas is dusty and fat and slutting it down. And they internalize that. It's like, come on, man. That's your mama. You ain't dating your mama. Stop internalizing that. That's just your mama, not all women. So there's a lot of that going on. Not saying all of those, because some people, that's gaslighting their experiences with women, because some of them are just dusty in the dating field and their mom is a good, upstanding citizen. So some of that it's just some of it. We got to keep that and put it into perspective.
Because it's funny. I think that's a red pill manosphere talking point. People would say, you had Ricky Lake, you had this. No, we didn't. Ricky Lake, Sally Jesse, all of them made black people look a damn fool. It wasn't women speaking. Women looked pathetic. Black women looked pathetic on those shows. So that's not true. Well, you had Oprah. Well, let's look at statistically what Oprah had. 77% of Oprah viewers was white women over 40 making a median of 70K. So black women was not watching Oprah Winfrey. As a matter of fact, it came on 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. What black woman you know working in the 80s and 90s had 3 or 4 afternoon at home sitting down? No, we had jobs, we worked, we had children to take care of. So that's not true either. So again, this is a talking point. Black women, we had the beauty salons, just like men had the barbershop. There was never a legit platform that black women just had grievances. We had movies that was directed and produced by black men. Tyler Perry, black man. Spike Lee. So we didn't. It is a lie. It is a talking point. And that's what I have to say about that. It's an absolute lie. TLC had no scrubs. Did it specifically say black men in no scrubs? No. It didn't talk about that. As a matter of fact.
Okay, so now this is a disingenuous point. This is being disingenuous. Come on, man. When they're talking about no scrubs, who are they talking about? Like, come on. That's like, but this is music. I don't know why we keep using no scrubs as an example that was so detrimental to black men. Oh my God, black men were in their feelings because women said they don't want no scrubs. So my scrub dusty ass was, oh my God, they want no scrubs. They don't want me. I'm insecure now. Like, what? Nigga, who the fuck cares? How many songs do we have dragging bitches? Calling them all sorts of hoes and bitches and X, Y, and Z. It's music, my nigga. No one gives a shit about that. I can't stand folks that get online and complain and cry about misandry. Oh my God, they hate men, X, Y, and Z. Oh my God, those words hurt so much. Those words from a stranger that I don't know that I'm not fucking. This woman's words hurt me so much. I keep telling y'all. I kept telling folks. Folks wanted to always be like, oh my God, these women are calling us corny. They're X, Y, and Z. I told y'all. Safari's fucking all these. Safari's fucking all these women. Safari, Nick Cannon, Drake, the niggas that they call corny 24/7 and have the dweebs and the nerds eternalizing that like, oh my God, these black women's mouth is so harsh. Black women, scale it back a little bit. Your mouth is so harsh, it's hurting us. Meanwhile, these niggas don't give a shit about none of that. These niggas is living their best life. So while the incels complain about their mouths being so harsh, y'all are worried about women that ain't yours, ain't doing nothing for you. You ain't facilitating nothing to better their life, and vice versa. Just a bunch of randoms on social media constantly hurting people's feelings. And it's men. That's what I don't get. When you look at life events and you look at a woman and you're like, oh shit, that bitch is damaged. That bitch is tripping. She's doing X, Y, and Z. That's a damaged, hurt woman because she had a lot of turmoil and a lot of fuckery in her life. Men get on these platforms and want to complain about the turmoil and the fuckery and the hardships that they had in their life like it broke them down like they're that same damaged woman. I'm like, you are a man. These things are supposed to build you and make you a stronger, it's supposed to be building perseverance and character. Now, I'm not saying women don't prevail and they build perseverance and character through tough events, but you see sometimes some of these things may break women down, get them into a defense mode where they're like, okay, they have their representative stand in front of them while the softer little girl side is within because they have to put up this wall for a defense. Men, these events should make you, they should harden you. Pause. They shouldn't be making y'all weaker. Y'all just coming to cry about these events. Y'all should be using these as stepping stones to brag upon. Be like, I went through this turmoil. I prevailed. I succeeded through X, Y, and Z. But these folks just be crying like, oh my God, it damaged me. This woman hurt my feelings. X, Y, and Z, she took half. What more do you want from me type shit? All right, let's get back into this.
What more do you want from me?
Fact, TLC became popular because white women was buying their music. So again, it is a talking point, but it's a lie because it's not true. Black people have been looking an absolute fool over decades off media, and we still do.
So, do you think there is any validity at all to?
Let me say, because I see something. The color purple. Mm-hmm. One movie. So we're basing black women had so much to say about black men off one movie. The color purple is all that you got to say. As if black women in the color purple look good. Miss Seeley. That's why I can't stand this space. It's just talking points. One movie. But yet you had a whole show, BET Uncut, that showed black women being sluts and whores and credit cards split down their ass.
This is what I say. Because, me and you, we've had this conversation. Well, a little bit. We've had a little bit of this conversation. But I think your points are valid. However, I do also think, starting with Reconstruction, there was a concerted effort before the movies, before the TV shows, before Oprah and the whole nine, to vilify black men. And then when we get into the 70s and the 80s, the crack epidemic, kicking black men out of the house for welfare, I think because of those things that were already done, some of the subtle jabs that came with reality shows and it came with talk shows and the whole nine kind of re-emphasized the whole niggas ain't shit narrative, right? So I'm not a fan of, because that happened to us, we should do that to black women. However, I do think that it's important that in the mainstream, black men's honest thoughts are finally represented. So, for instance, I was just watching Girlfriends, right? And I thought to myself, random, right? I thought to myself, it was an episode where Tony, she cheated on her boyfriend and gave him chlamydia, right? And then lied about it and the whole nine.
My bad, y'all. I'm having all sorts of technical difficulties out here. Did he say he was just watching Girlfriends?
Stick together. Pause. Knows he can have it. Pause. You see what I do when I got the rock. Pause.
Let me just put this in real quick.
This is Daniel, by the way.
Okay, I was just trying to mod some folks, and I think I blocked someone by accident. Yikes. All right, man.
The other dude.
Yeah, can we get these likes up, y'all?
Was trying to propose the whole nine. And I was like, yo, how would a male version of this be received? How would a a show of men being dirty and grimy, but explaining it away with their sexuality, how would that go over in pop culture?
Now, I don't like these comparisons. I don't like to try to invert what if men did X, Y, and Z that women does, because at the end of the day, we're not the same. It's not going to be a one-to-one comparison because we are not the same. There's double standards everywhere in life.
We're in a different era. Get over it. Whoa!
And I think I just blocked Vega by accident trying to take the suggestion to
culture. And the reality is it wouldn't, right? But women are allowed and even celebrated for all the textures and colors that come along, the good, bad, and the ugly.
Oh,
and
okay.
I think what the man.
Okay, I didn't block. I couldn't find. Okay, y'all, hold up. I can y'all stop talking real quick. Don't move the chat. I got there we go. Hold up. Yo, I'm struggling right now. My computer's giving me all sorts of fails, nigga. Y'all need to live with it. All right, Vega, could you comment again? Listen, y'all, I'm taking your recommendation, Grey Pill. I am taking your recommendation. All right, let's get it.
Manosphere is representing is, even though we or we shouldn't go in that direction, just like to overcorrect, there are going to be some growing pains. Like the fresh and fits are going to be part of the consequence of men not being able to speak at all, especially black men not being able to speak at all. And I think as we're moving in a positive direction, ultimately, we have to kind of expect some of the bullshit along the way.
Let me say this because we're talking about media. So who spends money?
Women.
So things are going to get geared to the demographic that spends money. If there was a show about black men's grievances, would black men go and fund it?
Well, so that's been part of my point, right?
But yes or no?
Right. That's my point has
What's
been.
The answer? Yes or
I'm
no?
gonna get to it. My point in the manosphere has kind of been, if we're serious about some of these problems, if we're serious about solutions, we need to consolidate our message and also consolidate our resources, whether that's Nate Parker, whether that's actually, again, getting one band, one sound with what we're trying to do. But because we're so fractured or we're all over the place, there's Fresh and Fit on this side, MTR on that side, and nothing is actually going to get done.
Okay, so May the Alchemist says, there is a constant chat person who I wish was cut loose. No substance, and she is annoying every stream. She's a chat folk. She's in the chat, bruh. I don't know who you're speaking about, but if she's in the chat, why does it even matter? You don't even have to read her comments. But nonetheless, I want to know who it is, because, you know what I mean?
Because to your point, the narrative is shaped by money. And
Absolutely.
Even though it's not necessarily in women's benefit, some of the things that they spend money on, to your point, like some of these raunchy songs by Sexy Red and the whole nine, they're being written by men. Some of these movies, Waiting to Exhale, they're being produced by men, black men. But it's because...
All right, yeah, I think the chat wants to know who now.
Who?
All right, I hope that's how you pronounce the May the Alchemist. May, yeah, I want to know who. Yep. You're clearly pissed off to the point where you had to say something, and everybody wants to know who, so we got to know now. We have to know. We must know. You are right. I blocked her so I don't have to read it anymore. I got solutions. Thanks for calling me out. Nah, but we want to know now. You blocked her? Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. All right, so... Where's the comment? Hold up. I lost it. So he said Moxie, damn. Let's go back to the video. Y'all deal with that in the comment section, yeah?
That's what's lucrative. So at the very same time, when black men are complaining about it, I'm trying to make the point of, well, we're part of the machine.
So Moxie hit him with the
We don't care. Let me tell you, we don't care.
And if we want different, we have to fund different, and we have to support different. But even using the
listen, y'all, this is issues in the chat. Y'all deal with that amongst yourselves. You know what I mean? I got a show to run. I'm gonna turn this into a struggle stream if I keep doing this shit in the chat. So if you have an issue with there's nothing I'm doing about that. You know what I mean?
Manosphere as an example, we see the creators who get the support, and we see the creators who don't. Right? So we get stuck in this cycle of just complaining, which is why I think what you're saying has some validity to it. However, I think women should also have...
Hey, yo, hold up. Hold up. You said, why did I read it? You said there's a person that you had a problem with, and then everybody said, who? So, nigga, you don't want to say shit with your chest? You want to throw rocks and hide your hands, folk? We ain't doing that. Say it with your chest. At the end of the day, what is there to be scared of if you said it with your chest? You already blocked her. You don't like her. You said it with your chest. Everybody got to heard. Everybody got to hear. Oh, I'm the instigator now, huh? I'm the instigator because I read a comment that the nigga said, okay, all right. All right, y'all. Y'all just don't want me to... I ain't talking to y'all then. Super chats only, y'all. Super chats only. I ain't talking to y'all then because y'all want to blame me for everything.
Bitch, who raised you?
Some grace for some of the bullshit, and understand that it's part of the growing pains. It's part of how suppressed.
Now, I did not call Taylor any names just now. That was a drop. That was a joke. Let's get that clear. Don't want to diss Taylor.
Whether rightfully or, wrongly, how suppressed a lot of black men in particular feel.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'll say this. I think everyone needs an avenue to vent.
Right.
I think that this space is not about grievances. I think it's about get back.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of men that are upset and want get back. So therefore you will see the biggest audiences or...
That is facts. Right there, that is facts. It is get back. A lot of the red pill manosphere shitting on the women that it is get back. Even the speech that, you know what? Hold up. We got a super chat. Let me pull this up on the screen. Now, this stream has officially been demoted to a struggle stream, so be prepared for routine LT fails when it comes to technical difficulties. At least blaming it on the technical difficulties, that is. May the Alchemist with the $2 super chat.
I'm getting rich.
May the Alchemist says, it's my fault, sorry. Listen, man, it's just some chat drama. We having fun out here. Let's get it.
The biggest YouTubers in this space. It's not about...
It's about the revenge of the nerds in this space. I said this two and a half years ago now. Revenge of the nerds. Oh, I got a platform. I got some clout. Oh, these women are interested now. So I could come on my platform, call them all sorts of names, Frank Castle, these hoes, and get them the fuck out of here, huh? That's what it is. It's revenge of the nerds, man.
male empowerment. It's not about men talking about money and fitness or how to.
Okay, so Jazz Sierra says, I feel like I missed something. So I'm all over the place. I'm back and forth in the reaction, and then I was in the chat. Something happened in the chat, and I'm not going to rehash it because they're going to say I'm an instigator. But somebody called somebody else out. Y'all figure out the rest, rewind it, do what y'all need to do. Let's get it.
Be the best version of you. It's about shitting on women.
Mm-hmm.
It is about fresh and fit. Let's bring whores on and let's dog them the fuck out. And every super chat is a super chat and talking shit about them.
And those women sign up and they know that the super chats are going to dog them out, call them fours, call them threes, call them unattractive, call them thoughts. They know this because those same guys are signing up to their OnlyFans following the show, and they're spending a whole heap of money. So they don't care. Just a whole nasty exchange, and people are signing up for it readily, and the only people that are getting finessed are the fans.
Oh, yes, the camera loves your nastiness.
And if that's what venting is, if that's what men need is a space to just talk shit about women, then for me it's like, well, what does that say? Even with this thing, you know, can we get at least 5 to 10 years to speak our mind? It's like women has been doing it. How come we can't do it? So you want to be like women, but then you want to be leaders? How can you lead and wanted to be respected as a leader
when you're constantly following the lead of women? You're constantly saying, oh, the women did this, so we must do this. The women are doing this, so we must do this. What does that say about you? You're constantly following the women. Thank you, Courtney.
But yet want to do what women do.
I will say this at the very same time.
And this is the thing. The men that actually want to have a space and say they want to talk shit about women all day, they want to dog women on their platform, they're free to do it. The problem is they're not confident. They don't have conviction in the things that they do. So they're swayed by a nigga like me who gets up on the mic, hits them with a few drops,
Shut your bitch ass up before I get to talking shit about you.
tells them they're a bunch of incel weirdos, and all of a sudden they're insecure in the shit that they do. All of a sudden they're trying to be nicer to women to get them on the panel. They're not being themselves now, and they're failing and fucking up that because they don't want to stand on their twos and be like, you know what, this is what I'm doing with my platform. Fuck what anybody else says. They're too easily moved and swayed. So they're not going to get their own space. Men should have a safe space for X, Y, and Z. Men can create whatever space they want to create. Just don't get moved by the comments and the people that are detracting. The other content creators that have their say, y'all need to stand solid on your shit and be confident in the message that y'all are pushing if y'all really believe in the shit y'all believe in. But y'all are too easily swayed and bullied. And then when women complain, y'all feel insecure about what y'all do. So y'all ain't confident in the direction y'all are taking, really and truly.
So for instance, there's a clip on Instagram that I put out.
It really comes to the point where it's like, okay, we have criticism, and the criticism will be so accurate that they feel insecure that, yeah, I can't continue doing with this shit. The people see right through it. This is fugazi. I'm getting called out. This is substandard. And it creates this insecurity in them that they have to kind of switch. They can't stand 10 toes down on it because they know it's some fuckery. Y'all hit the like button, y'all. The likes are rather dusty. We got to get these up to 100. Let's get this going.
It's a clip from one of the table episodes. And basically I made the point that we spend too much time and energy blaming our deadbeat dads for how things turned out in life. And a lot of times it's because our moms told us or taught us to blame our deadbeat dad, but no blame goes to our mom. No blame goes to her for picking him. No blame goes to her for a lot of the bullshit that she did. And
We don't care. Let me tell you, we don't care.
Once again, adversarial. If you grew up with a single mother who did nothing but disparage your father, and you internalize that, you have some... Hold up. Let me get this point.
Our deadbeat dad, but no blaming our deadbeat dads for how things turned out in life. And a lot of times it's because our moms told us or taught us to blame our deadbeat dad, but no blame goes to our mom.
Yep, this is exactly what I thought. Why do we care? Why do we care? Our deadbeat dad failed us. Our mom blames the deadbeat dad, right? Why do we care to attribute blame to our mom for choosing an X, Y, and Z? Why are we still dealing in this place of damage? This place of arrested development. We're still in this childhood state where we're like, oh my God, we got to blame somebody for our state instead of moving forward, instead of understanding this is what we're dealing with. This is the card that we were dealt. Now let's move forward. Let's use all the negativity as ammunition, as inspiration to be like, you know what? I've overcame X, Y, and Z. Fuck all of this shit. All this blaming dad and blaming mom. Who cares? That's their relationship that ran amok. You gotta have your relationship separately with your mother, relationship separately with your father if you come from that type of dysfunctional family. Whatever he says about your mom, fuck all of that. Your experience is your experience. Whatever she says about your dad, fuck all that. That's your experience. That's people feed into this crap and start making it adversarial. Your mother versus your father is the way you internalize men versus women, the way you move through the field in dating. It's like, nah, man, it has nothing to do with your mother. It has nothing to do with your father. Leave that shit in the past. Folks need to start healing before they get on into this dating market. All these damaged folks. That's why I always wonder when I stepped into the Manosphere space and started covering some of this stuff and doing reactions. I'm like, hold on. I'm like, why does everybody start as a default point of damage? Oh, so she has to understand my damage. No, I'm going to understand her damage and we're going to X, Y. It's like, wait, hold up. Why are all these folks damaged? What's with all these damaged goods? You think that this is the field? This represents everybody out there, the average person? No, this is a bubble. This is a bunch of people that bought in and internalized this type of fuckery, take on other people's problems and some of the problems they actually deal with. And it's just a whole mess, man. I think people need to check the fuck out. If you're really about your business, not really about your business, you're really about your, hold up. Jesus Christ. You're really about a relationship. You're really about building a family. You're not trying to be adversarial and pick at women and point fingers, and you're not trying to be the problem, and you're not trying to deal with women telling you about yourself 24/7. Check out of these spaces. Check right out. You'll be more successful.
No blame goes to her for picking him. No blame goes to her for a lot of the bullshit that she did and the whole nine. So the clip was probably 1 minute and 30 seconds. I guarantee you most people only watched 10 seconds of it.
We're going to get right back into that. Chronic Introvert says a father in the house is rare in some parts. This is the thing, though. If a father's not in your house, why? The problem is people internalize everything that their mother may say about their father, but y'all have to realize that's their relationship. Most of the time when the father's negligent or the mother's whatever the hell the mother is, say if you have two trash parents, most of the times it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with their relationship.
They were already commenting. You should be happy she didn't swallow you. You ungrateful, this and that. And I bring that up because as a whole, not just
you said they live with the idea because I have damage, therefore I am damaged forever. Yeah, that's the defeated mindset. That is a defeated mindset. Great Pill says, huh? I don't know what I said, man. I said something. Nonetheless, yeah, that's a defeated mindset. What Mackenzie was saying, that's what people have. They get into their 30s and they're like, I'm damaged perpetually. This is it, man. This damage is for life. And it's like, whoa, hold on. Still do a little work on yourself. Do a little healing. It's not that difficult.
In the black community, but we don't know how to criticize women.
Yeah.
Right? We don't know how to hold women accountable. We don't know how to prosecute women. I'm sorry. And
yeah,
right, we don't know how to hold women accountable. We don't know how to prosecute women. I'm sorry. And unfortunately, because of that, a lot of the productive conversation sometimes gets lumped into the unproductive conversation because sometimes it sounds the same, right? So as women, I guess what I would like to see is a bit more grace, right? A bit of the grace that we are expected to have for y'all, right? When a woman says niggas ain't shit, I can either take that personally or understand some of the negative aspects of the patriarchy that I'm also against. And I can also say that.
Now, let me tell y'all right now, when a woman says niggas ain't shit,
We don't care. Let me tell you, we don't care.
I don't feed into none of this shit. I don't know why people entertain these things and be like, "Oh, niggas ain't shit. That's apropos. Oh my God, we ain't shit. We gotta improve." Now these random women said, like, what are we doing out here? That's where I get lost in these type of conversations. Some may say that I just don't respect folks. I don't. I don't care. Man, dog, woman are... Someone said I'm mute? Taylor, you fucking with me. I'm mute? I'm not mute. Man, dog, woman, or child, we don't care. We don't care. Respect is earned, not given. The average person, I will treat the average person with a level of decency. I won't disrespect them off riff. There's no reason to disrespect. But the random person doesn't just get respect. Respect is earned, not given. You will get a level of decency, a level of decorum, a level of standard communication that's not disrespectful. But your words aren't coming through like, oh my God, I'm going to respect the words that you're saying so much to the point where an insult's going to hurt my feelings. Or whatever you say, what type of narrative you paint over men, I'm actually going to internalize that message. Like, that's not what we're doing out here. And that's the problem with most folks. They hear certain things and they're so hurt. And it's like, what did you do to earn my respect for your statements? You're not saying anything profound. I don't know who you are. Like, why do I care? But that's the problem with folks. They hear stuff on social media. That's why men are in the manosphere care about misandry so much. Oh, these women are speaking such bad on men's name and X, Y, and Z. It's like, who the fuck cares?
Yeah, I'm against men who take advantage of women sexually or try to use their power to get, whatever the case may be. But when it comes to women, it seems like there's just a steel wall of, that's not me. That's none of my friends. I don't know nobody like that. And men never actually feel heard because we just get dismissed most of the time.
Once again, heard by who? The internet is not your personal life. If you need to vent to somebody, you have family and friends. We men need to be heard by the field of women. This is this participation trophy shit where we're trying to facilitate better relationships through the internet for everybody instead of individually. And that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Shout out to Win Loser Rug with the $10 super chat.
I'm getting
This man speaking philosophically. Well, I guess.
So, unfortunately, the result of that, the result of years and years of that, is fresh and fit. And you know how I feel about the fresh and fit side.
Yeah.
But we have to be able to zoom out and conceptualize, okay, what's actually going on, as opposed to just, throwing rocks and saying, man, these motherfuckers, this and that. What created them? And what, more than what created them, what created the demand for them? And when I hear some of these dudes' stories, listen, if I had been through half of what these dudes have been through, I would hate women too, rightfully. Just like a lot of women who hate men. And it's like when you listen.
That is an unaccountable way of venturing through life.
crying to me, and I'm not having
If you've gone through all these stories that you hear these guys, don't you take a second to self-reflect and be like, wait a minute, I ain't doing too well in the dating marketplace. I gotta self-reflect a little bit. Why do I keep getting finessed? Why am I always being saved as food in these women's phone? Why don't I ever get a ask those questions to yourself. Oh, I'm devastated. This girl took X, Y, and Z. It's like, why is this happening to you and specifically you? Of course, bad things happen in life and you got to chalk it up to that. You got to chalk it up to the game sometimes, but sometimes it's the way you move and the way you're handling yourself.
Listen to her story, and she was raped by her own dad. She was this, you'd be like, oh, I understand it. But men, especially black men, have never had the opportunity to tell those stories. And even in the situations that they tell the stories, they're either dismissed or simply put on the man. And I think over time, you know, the snowball effect is fresh and fit. So if we want to prevent other Fresh and Fits. It's not just about demonizing Fresh and Fit. It's not just about castigating them and talking shit about them and the whole nine. It's about killing it. It's gonna sound corny, but it's about killing it with kindness. It's about showing them that no, women are not like that, right? Even though your experiences have taught you that they are, and rightfully so, and they're valid. But okay, let's start walking it back instead of nigga, you ain't supposed to, nigga, you supposed to, because that's what we're used to getting in my comment sections, in my Instagram sections, and you know how I am. You know what I'm saying? So if they saying this about somebody as articulate as myself, who's gonna lay out all the nuances, just imagine what the regular dude is going through. But a lot of times we kind of gloss over that in our critique.
Okay.
Let me bring this comment up so we can get to Deion Sanders.
I know, but right now it's really
hey, it's good. It's always gonna be good. All right, so V Bomba, I'm probably butchering that. I think the movement should go in the direction that Kevin was taking it and stay consistent with your ministry. Yeah, brother, I you know, I've been open about this. I wasn't.
This is the problem. There should not be a collective movement of men and Manosphere red pill toters on the platform reiterating the same message and the same talking point to have it a movement, because that's when it becomes what Courtney outlined, an indoctrination session. It becomes what the media has been programming folks for years, the same type of shit. Everybody's saying the same things on different channels. Everybody's repeating it. Everybody's agreeing. So this is becoming the new standard of talking point for dating. Like this whole thing is a mess. There should not be a movement like that. Everybody should be thinking for themselves and leading their own relationships. These men wonder why they can't lead a relationship in their personal life. You're being led by dweebs online. You're being led by the Fresh and Fits of the world. You're being led by the coons like Obsidians. You're being led by the nigga that can't get out of his own caricature, Angry Man. Talking about angry man, macho man, angry savage and shit. What are we talking about out here? You're being led by Antoine Daniels. Y'all are wondering why y'all are dusting it up in your personal life and you have all these complaints and all these super chat complaints and cooking these women 24/7. It's because you're a grown-ass man being led by some nigga on the internet. And don't your bitch ass be led by me.
Shut your bitch ass up before I get to talking shit about you.
Don't be saying, oh, we following LT's lead out here. I'm my own man. You're your own man. I'm not out here trying to solicit incels to come on my platform and be like, oh, this is how you become a strong man. Like, no, nigga, look, you're a man. Why do you gotta learn how to be a man? All this learning how to be a man, yo, this is right. Y'all were right in the chat. These niggas are part of that. You know, yo, there's more letters to it. I just seen an article. There's more letters. What is it called? They're definitely part of that community. Hold on, let me pull up I don't know exactly what there's more letters than I once thought. It's like the 2SLGBTQS plus I. There's some next shit in that. I think they're part of that. They must be, man. They need to learn how to be men. They must be part of that. There must be some non-binary folk out in here. I don't get it. I don't get it. Oh shit, let's get back into this.
Kevin Samuels fan. I was a Kevin Samuels appreciator, right? So, you know, some of my favorite Kevin Samuels video was a video he made before he was famous, that most people wouldn't even know. But when after Average at Best, I wasn't watching streams. I wasn't in there. I'm just being honest. But yeah, I think Kevin Samuels is Kevin Samuels. I think there'll never be another one. And what I'm doing is, I think we had, you know, rest his soul, a similar vision of reconciling black men and black women. But I think our approaches are different. So, you know, all respect to what the brother did and what the brother represented. My path is a bit different. Afro Disciple, he also says, if you have heard black men weren't ish basically your entire life, raise your hand. That's real.
Well, let's.
This is what I'm talking about when I say it must have been their mother's doing. If you heard black men weren't shit basically your entire life, raise your hand. Where were you hearing these things from? What type of family structure were you raised in? What type of community were you raised in where you're constantly hearing black men weren't shit? That's my questions. Why were you hearing that your entire life? Of course, there's obvious fuckery that black men deal with in society. Outside of that, why are we hearing black men weren't shit your entire... Man, let's get it, man.
Okay. And if you've heard bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks your life, raise your hand. If you felt like you wasn't anything worth but sex as a black woman, raise your hand. That's where all this black girl magic came from, because it's a fucking facade for us to build self-confidence, because for our entire life we felt like shit. We didn't feel beautiful. We wanted to change our weight.
And who made y'all feel like that, though? This is the problem. This is the problem. Hold up. Chronic Introvert says, all I'm saying is Red Pill started off with the movie The Matrix. It had nothing to do with women and marriage. Red Pill was supposed to be the reality. You're supposed to take the red pill and you're supposed to wake up and be living and seeing what the reality is. These incels hijacked the phrase red pill to say this is the reality about women. And basically it's their experiences that they're sharing and saying this is reality. And it's like, no, sir, this is your experience in your dusty bubble. And you're purporting it to everybody as reality. And you have enough incels agree, and all of a sudden they think that all women are a reflection of what y'all say. But nonetheless, let's get back into this.
Change how we look. Change for us to build self-confidence, because for our entire life we felt like shit. We didn't feel beautiful. We wanted to change our weight, change how we look, change our hair, change our body, because we never felt good enough. As a black woman, we don't feel beautiful. That's why these girls are twerking and trying to get some attention, because in real life, you feel overlooked.
All right, black women, in the chat, if that's true, put a 1. If that's not true, put a 2. If y'all don't feel beautiful and y'all feel overlooked, we'll get to the reasoning why and who is the prime perpetrator for that. But if y'all feel overlooked and unattractive, hit the 1s, black women, and hit the 2s if y'all don't feel that way. If y'all don't feel the way Courtney's describing, hit the 2s in the chat. If you feel the way Courtney's describing, hit the 1s for the black women that are remaining in the chat at this time.
Women, we don't feel beautiful. That's why these girls are twerking and trying to get some attention, because in real life, you feel overlooked. There's not been a time where black women just feel, I feel so beautiful and I feel like I can get any man. And
okay, so we got Melanated Vessel with the 2, Pebbles Pedal with the 2, A Lady 747 with the 2, May the Alchemist with the 2, C Miles with the 2, Taylor Made with the 2, not a single one in sight. TG with the 2. Destron saying she's talking for herself. There's not a single one in sight. So this is the trick about speaking for black women or black men. I did the same thing. I'm like, yo, black men don't have a problem with black women interracial dating. Y'all mopped me in the comment section. You're like, that's a lie. All these black men, X, Y, Z. I'm like, hey. I guess for me, myself, and my niggas, we don't have an issue. We just doing our thing. But I put that on black men, and y'all disagreed fervently, so I'll live with that. And right now, y'all are disagreeing with this. Y'all do not eternalize Courtney Michelle's sentiments, and I'm not disagreeing with y'all. Let's get it.
the world loves me. No, black women don't feel that way. So black women, raise your hands if you felt like you was only good enough for sex, or that your hair wasn't long enough or straight enough. Your nose wasn't straight enough. Your body wasn't perfect enough. You's too fat. Your butt too big. Mm-hmm. Of course, some
Brother Jumpy thinks May's a man.
black men like that, but when you go out into this working world, no, you don't. We both feel it. That's why I wish people would understand. Black women don't feel good either. And black men has heard it. Black women hear it too. Again, why I had to get out this space? why in the world would I be in a space where my whole existence feels like I'm not worthy of anything? So no, this black girl magic is a facade to get confidence in something that black women don't have. Black women are not confident in ourselves. We're not confident in our beauty.
I think,
Now, shout out to Courtney Michelle. No issue with Courtney Michelle. I think that this is a remnant. This part in her ideology is a remnant from the Manosphere red pill indoctrination. Because you hear that so much from these niggas. You hear that shit from Tommy Sotomayor. You hear that shit from Anton Daniels. Y'all hear this. You hear this shit. That black women don't love themselves. They don't feel beautiful. They don't love their hair. They don't X, Y, and Z. Hair helmeted hooligans. We hear this all the time. So I think that's a remnant of the indoctrination. Although there is some validity to that. But when you make these generalizations, it comes off as projection. Because if you may have felt that way, the same way this brother felt that black men have been basically shitted on their entire life in the chat section. Afro disciple that said if you heard black men weren't ish your entire life. It's like you're kind of projecting that on the crowd. You may have felt that, but Brina West said not a commercial. Jesus Christ. Let me add another one in there. We don't got enough of these. Hey yo. All right, let's get it, y'all.
What breaks my heart a lot of times when I talk to black women and when I hear some of these grievances is the kind of lack of education, and not necessarily because it's not our fault, right? The school systems kind of nitpicked what they wanted to pick because they wanted to train us, they didn't want to educate us.
Yeah.
So for instance, I think it would be powerful for black women to learn that somebody like Marcus Garvey in the 1910s, 1920s, he built...
All right, now, so this is the thing. I like dealing with things in this time. Shout out to our ancestors. Shout out to Marcus Garvey, obviously. But I don't want to go into the deep history lesson where we have to acknowledge things in the history to kind of make a point of why we should love each other. Like, I don't like all this shit. So I'm going to wrap this up here. We have a lot to cover tomorrow, y'all. We have a lot to cover tomorrow. I've been editing a lot of footage. The live stream with Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharp, and the Skip Bayless conversation with Skip being exposed for the reason why the show ended, the FS1 Undisputed. We're going to get into that tomorrow. There's a lot there, y'all. There's a lot there. I actually pushed that off 2 days. It was supposed to be a few days ago. There's a lot to talk about there. We have a lot of topics to cover tomorrow. But yeah, I'm off in this, y'all. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody that hit the super chat. Y'all can go find this on We Need to Talk's channel. This upload was about 3 days ago. This interview is about 2.5 hours long. There's about 20 minutes left here, but they're really just cooking the Manosphere. Not much specific said here. We don't want to go on for too long with this. We were supposed to bring back the call-in panel, but yo, it's late, y'all. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Yeah, we out, man. The Discord, yeah, we'll be in the Discord, y'all. Let's get it. Yeah. Y'all, can we get the likes up to 100? If y'all still in here, you hit that like button, y'all. Let's get these likes up to 100. We trying to live in the algorithm, y'all. Let's get these likes up to 100. If y'all still in here, y'all didn't click up or click out of the video yet. Y'all make sure we get these likes up, y'all. Run up these likes.